Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign. I'm Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master, and joining me, I have Matt, Dan, Hannah, and Alana. Tina is not with us tonight. She is distancing for our safety, so thank you, Tina, but we hope you feel better soon.
I miss you.
A couple of announcements before we get started with this game of D&D. Last night we played Session 13 at Mosaic Team 5, which is our original Starfinder campaign set in a space western, space opera kind of storyline. It was very interesting. You guys scaled an elevator with no problem, which is very hard for you as a team, it turns out. So that was pretty great. Howdy, Tom. But if you want to check that out, we're going to be live with Session 14 next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, we have a website, alberonrpg.com. It has been updated with links to every episode from both this game and Mosaic Team 5. All of the profiles have been updated as well, and slowly the art is being updated to match. Alberon RPG is also our username. Alberon RPG is also our username on social media, Instagram, Twitter, etc. There are all kinds of miniatures and things like that. I can show you a close-up of the table. You can actually just barely not see those hero forges. But we have a whole... No, it's okay. We have a whole bunch of different things that we use. I'm just going to scoop them all in right there. We have a whole bunch of things that we use that are really hard to see on the cameras here, try as we might. So checking out the social media accounts is a really good way of seeing that. We also have tons of art that's provided by a variety of artists, including Alana. So you can check all of that out on Instagram at AlberonRPG. And then finally, we have a digital tool set for you to use. Oh, actually, no. Also included now, something that wasn't here last week, we have Brenna's emote that's been added. Yay. So as a follower, one of the emotes that you'll have access to instantly, so Talon, I think you have it.
Can someone do it?
The Sup Nerd one. Oh, yeah, there you go, right there.
Thank you, Talon.
So that's
oh, no, that was Matt. Thank you, Matt.
You'll also notice that several of the players are now moderators within this as well. You are not, because you have like 7 different usernames, and I couldn't remember which one you were locked out of.
I'm now Goodwill Gunty.
Okay, so I'll moderize that as well. I believe that yours is a moderator account now. I'm not 100% sure. I have to check. And then you don't have one, I don't think so.
I do, actually. Oh, okay. And I do follow, but it's secret. Because okay. No, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. So if you follow along, you have access to those emotes. Oh, Talon, you blasted them all out. And Talon, you have access to more than almost everybody.
Yeah, I don't even have all of those.
Yeah, because of your... a lot of the players don't have access to the ones that Talon does. Talon has been following the story since Session 1. So,
I want that
Talon's seen probably just about as much as I have.
He's too powerful.
Yeah. Talon notices some really interesting things, too. I remember I got an email when Gunter almost died one time. And there was a lot of really good observations that Talon made. But neither here nor there. Sirenscape, the last announcement that we have for digital sound effects, music, and that kind of a thing. Although my computer has been dying off and on lately, it is using Sirenscape. So check that out. It's a great platform. Unfortunately, my laptop is not a great one. If you want to help out with that, feel free to subscribe for only $5 a month.
There it is.
Help me eventually replace this.
There's the plug.
This thing has been in service since I think 2009. So it's running a little
ready to be honorably discharged.
It can barely run Sirenscape and Chrome at the same time with one tab open. So like if I open a second tab, you hear it go, it's about to take off.
Sounds like yours.
Anyhow, that is the last announcement that I have. And with that, we can dive into our recap. Final thing, you'll also probably notice there are different name tags underneath all of us. Those are kind of like a first run. They will be updated a little bit, but we're trying to have a little bit more visual stuff happening over there. So you can see every character's art along with their class and name. It'll always be positioned under or close to a person. You can actually see, because we don't have Tina tonight, Tina's tag is up. Everybody's a little slightly sideways, but that's okay.
More space at the table.
Yeah. That is the only benefit to having people out is that we do get more space at the table. That's true. Which for you guys, certainly more impactful than me. Alrighty. Adventurers. Last we played, your group crept along the eaves of the Avenue of Everdusk, just 18 feet above the crowds below. You managed to sneak by several of the guards along the wall and made your way quietly into the dormitory of one of them, asleep and off duty. Brenna, you used Mage Hand to lift the window, and one by one you crept in. First, you, Eleanor, like a shadow, sliding across the floor and posing right above the sleeping guard. Oakfeld, you entered next, and finding some fruit, just kind of squatted down and started munching on some grapes. Just as you entered, Brenna, you made just a little bit of a noise, and as this person turned over, not waking up, but just a little bit disturbed, Eleanor, you slaughtered this individual in his sleep. He bled out in his own bed, and you found yourself within the Jade Exchange, relatively unnoticed, except for that guy.
That guy's noticing nothing.
No, he's noticing nothing ever again. You all crept down the hall, found your way down a staircase of stone, and into the barracks. This was a stone room full of training dummies, armor, equipment, different things designed to support the Jade Centurions as they guard the Jade Exchange. There were several, 7 of them, practicing on these training dummies, including a Goliath making quite a bit of noise. You were all able to creep across one by one. Eleanor, you sneaking within 10 feet of a guard at one point. Brenna, Akka, the 2 of you just flying over top. Despite being invisible, Oakfeld, you managed to alert the entire room to your presence by knocking over a barrel of water and then standing right in the puddle. Your footprints giving you away. Battle immediately resumed with probably everybody else feeling a little annoyed that they made it across this very difficult stretch of terrain and having you kind of ruin it in the front. Akka's pissed. Shay raced to your side as very quickly, Oakfell, you were felled. Pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Shay was able to keep you safe as the rest of the group engaged in combat. Swirling through this place, the real star of this situation ended up being Brenna and this Dragonborn. Both barbarians, both exchanging blows high in the ceiling. One of the Dragonborn climbing up on top of the raised section of wall, Brenna flying. But at the end of this fight, Brenna, you had the enduring rage that this individual did not. And so felling the Dragonborn and dispatching with the rest of the Jade Centurions in this room, you find yourself in a much quieter space. And Brenna, as you bent down to pick up the axe that this Dragonborn had wielded, you can see the axe had forged from the jawbone of a dragon itself, certainly magical, glowing and shifting with the colors of fire. That is where we're going to begin for the evening. So give me just one moment.
Yay! I apologize in advance.
Brenna, as you bend down and touch the axe for the first time, your eyes are drawn to the black dragonbone axe head. And you feel almost for a moment like your consciousness is stretched just a little bit. You feel as if some alien thought makes its way into your head, and though you cannot perceive what it is, it's as if something squirms around in the gray matter in your skull, this alien presence. And for a moment, it's like you go back in time to, as a very young gnome, you had a huge growth spurt. You grew a whole inch in a year. And, for a gnome, that's a lot. And you remember this deep interior ache. It's almost the same thing. It's like at once your body grows and expands. You smell ocean air. And overhead, you smell smoke, fire, and you feel this hot wind on your back. As you turn, you are no longer within the barracks of the Jade Exchange. Your feet are upon cobblestone streets that run along a cliff that overlooks a dark and turbulent ocean that you have never seen before. Fire and smoke surround you, and through the darkness you can see shapes littering the ground. Bodies, perhaps, but hard to tell, as wreckage of stone, wood, other things cover much of it. And then, all at once, you are back. You can see, for the rest of you, Brenna, for just a moment, hesitate as she touches the axe, and then stand, holding it now. And, Brenna, what are you doing?
How do I feel like right now after that has passed?
So you stand here now holding onto this axe. It's warm in your hand, almost hot. And you can feel your heartbeat racing, still the rage subsiding from this battle. And as that kind of dies down, it's a weird feeling, that whole process, very alien, but you just feel like the fatigue a little bit settle in from battle. Nothing especially different as of yet, anyways.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of like swing the axe around experimentally, and just be like, it's cool, right? And then I'm just gonna kind of like do what I would normally do after battle. So like start to prestidigitate myself clean and just kind of like, I'm going to keep just kind of like experimenting with it. Cause I think if I'm remembering correctly, I can still swing it around like normally, even though it's like too big for me to really it's too big and that shouldn't be able to be a thing.
For the rest of you, this is not an alien sight. This is a massive weapon in the hands of a gnome, and so not different from anything that you've perceived from Brenna. But this axe, for you can feel the weight in it. When you first initially bent down, that flash second where everything seemed to stretch, you felt the weight, but now as you move it and swing it, there's a moment of delay, but then you can feel the strength surge, almost like your muscles are exhausted. But you are able to move it around as normal.
Okay, Brenna's just gonna like internalize that for a minute while she looks over and notices that Oakfeld is like dead and
down, right?
So on the ground, you can see the body of Oakfeld, shallowly breathing, surrounded by like 5 corpses of the Jade Centurions. You can see the armor dented from multiple blows from fists and legs from Shay. They're in rough shape. But yeah, Oakfeld is certainly down.
Eleanor's gonna, seeing that the battle is clearly over, going to run past Shay and kind of give her like a tap on the shoulder and like, great job, Oakfeld. And take my, I believe it is a regular healing potion.
You do have one regular healing potion that you got just recently.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give that to Oakfeld and kind of like administer it as best as carefully as I can.
Okay. You tilt Oakfeld's head back, and it's not like an especially hard task. You saw Shay do this before. It was much less gentle. But you pour this in. You could roll health. I think it's 2d4 plus something.
I'm looking for the next. I don't give a shit about Oakfeld, so I'm just like, where's the next move? Where are we going?
Sure. So you turn, and through this place, you can see on the other end a spiraling set of stairs. You see a little perch where a raven once stood, no longer there. Mm-hmm. You see off to the other side bunk beds, a huge communal table, some benches that people sat at. There's actually an empty wooden bowl, just the dregs of like porridge or something similar. But the staircase seems to be the exit, and it does lead further down.
Okay. I'm heading towards there to see if there's, like, listen down.
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Make a perception check as you walk over there. As Akka moves over northeast, where is the rest of you, or what are the rest of you doing? I know you're administering this healing potion. Brenna, you're just swishing this axe around?
Yeah, and kind of like patiently waiting for Oakfeld to wake up enough to heal her.
Okay, yeah. You swing the axe and it hurts. You realize like there is something in your back that is torn from a strike that makes your shoulder move almost too much. And you kind of like hold back for a moment.
Ow.
Find my D4, hang on.
Do you need D4?
Oh, I got it. Okay. It's 2D4 plus 2, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's by the amount of dice. Wait, that was completely gone. Oh god.
These are like your super nice dice, right?
Yeah, I just threw it on the floor, it's fine.
They were in a special case and everything.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
There you go. You got
Oh,
it.
you're wearing dice
Got it.
earrings.
Yeah, I know. My mom got them for me.
Just yank
Really
them.
nice. Just
You
yank
get
them off.
7 HP.
Nice.
Oakfeld, on the ground, you wake up, your face wet, and as you pick it up, this tacky blood, not yours, but as you wake up, you are surrounded by corpses. You can see Shay just kind of like, she has this edge of her white tunic that she's just rubbing blood off of her knuckles from, and Eleanor bent over you holding the empty healing potion.
My head.
Are you back with us? You took quite the blow.
Oh,
How do you feel?
the Raven Mother. I don't see her anymore.
And as you look around, Oakfeld, maybe 50 feet away, you can see where the staircase is, and as Akka approaches it, this little perch where a raven once stood, and they're no longer there.
I'm gonna point to the perch.
Hey, saw her over there.
Elnor's gonna look around and be like, oh, where'd that damn raven go?
Like a perception check. What
We
was
all
yours?
saw it, right?
dirty
Initially,
20.
yeah.
A dirty 20? You get closer to the stairs, and not only do you not hear anything, very pointedly, you hear nothing. Almost
Magically nothing.
hard to tell, but it's like as you hold your ear down the stairs, there is some material perhaps down there that deadens sound. It is very quiet.
Well, we were in the...
A 10. Hard to tell.
We
You
were
look
in
around,
the...
there is armor
training
scattered on the
quarters,
ground.
right?
You see swords, glaives, all kind of pressed into each other in this narrow corridor where the Dragonborn is currently dead. You don't see any bird.
That can't be good.
I'm gonna like kind of move my body around and like kind of transform like parts of my body and like my arm, my leg, just try to see if everything's still working a bit.
Yeah, when you do that, you see little elements that are injured shift into bark and then kind of soften and begin to bleed again. But everything does work, yeah.
Okay. And I'm just gonna end it by fully becoming a tree. And when I become a tree, I gain some hit points, and also every couple seconds, I believe I gain 7 HP.
Something like that. And the people around you do too, right?
Yeah.
So for Oakfeld, you see each of these things close and then open and begin to bleed a little bit. And then slowly each of them closes again, this time staying shut. And Oakfeld grows taller and taller until there is a miniature oak just existing. You can see the bark visage. The visage of Oakfeld just in bark. The eyes shut for a moment, and then all of a sudden, along these tiny leaves, you see the acorns kind of burst, and little bits of pollen fall down. And as this strikes you, it seems to almost glow and take away elements of pain. You feel, especially some of your body, begin to almost weave itself back together. You're in rough shape. But, yeah, however much healing that is, just keep
So
track
whatever
of that.
half your hit points is, you have half.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How long are you a tree for?
I mean, can I go up the stairs?
As a tree?
Down.
82.
Yeah.
It would be tough. Do you have a movement speed as a tree?
Yeah, like 5 feet.
You're taking a long ass time to get down those stairs.
Basically like an ent, except with a shorter stride.
Yeah.
Ents have like a good amount of movement speed. That's not what Ents move like.
Yeah, it's more like a tree that has to uproot itself to move every time.
the only creature I can think of that's this slow is one that I made. It was Fergalette, which you guys didn't fight because she's like not a bad person. It's just a fungus thing. But you, yeah, you're pretty slow. So you can, I mean, you know, you're going that fast. Akka, you transmit that information to everybody else. It's like real quiet down these stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And say like we should be ready for more of the same. And I pointedly look over at Oakfeld like fucking asshole.
As I'm like swinging the axe around, has anything like
Not yet.
changed?
No.
Okay. As we're kind of like pulling ourselves together, I look at Akka and I go, "Do you still have that ant bag? Can I hold on to that?" And because I've got 2 axes in my hands, I'm like, can I?
I'm gonna like
And Brenna puts her axe, her old one, into the bag.
No problem. This huge axe, taller than Brenna, much larger than the bag. As you put the head of it in, you stretch wider and wider, and just as you feel like it's going to break, it goes a little bit more and a little bit more, and this whole axe just disappears, Mary Poppins style, into this bag.
I'm gonna try to peek a look at this new axe when Brenna's like passing the old one to me.
What are you looking to find out?
like the axe that she had been using was pretty nice from what I'd seen.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool material.
So what kind of axe is this that she's no longer using? The one that seemed to have some like, personal connection to.
Make an Arcana check, an Insight check, or a
I like all
History
these
check.
things. I
Your
like all
choice.
these
Each has a
things.
different set of results.
All right, I think I'm gonna go with the tried and true Arcana, because that's always a fun one. Even when I get a 7, that's a 22.
Yeah. So first of all, this axe certainly magical. You've never heard of something to this description, which already means it's probably from beyond the borders of Dominion. As you see, the axe head forged from the jaw of a dragon, and you've seen dragon jaws before, up close and personal, in fact. This is much larger than the dragon that you fought up in the midst of that swirling ice storm. This is a dragon similar to what is described in Tales from the age of dragons, not, modern times.
I feel like it would be something that Drea would probably know about.
Probably, yeah, certainly. You can see absolutely there is markings that this has been worked on. It's from the Fazarakian Skald, or actually looking at it, very late Fazarakian Skald, maybe even post, which something made
Post Fazarakian
by
Skald.
Dragonborn, that's pretty uncommon. There's a lot of cool stuff about it. With a 22, you can't determine any properties aside from the fact that based on, even as, Brenna leans in closer, you feel heat. It is a warm weapon. Not a lot that you could tell just from that.
Okay.
There is something about it, this dragon piece, that feels almost... malevolent is too strong of a word, but it has a presence to it that you're not familiar with. Absolutely.
Having experienced bad times with a situation like this, I'm going to be extra wary of this new axe that Brenna's got.
Sure.
But I'm not going to bring it to anyone's attention yet.
Okay.
Do I, since you said that I became attuned to it as soon as I touched it, do I know all the particular properties of the axe? Like, do I know the things that it can do
So
and the
as
things
you're
that it has
holding
done to me?
there's this kind of moment. You're not aware of anything that's happened to you necessarily.
Okay.
You do have this feeling, as you reach in, and every now and then, despite this gleeful appearance, there is a rage underneath. You are displaced from time, and everybody that you knew, that you called a family, is gone as far as you know. And something about that bubbles up within you every now and then. There is an additional edge to that rage that is certainly different. And you can feel that. You've been in a lot of combat recently, and so it's kind of hard to tell, where does that come from?
Rage plus.
But you do feel, as you move this around, the possibility of creating fire at a distance. You get some of the abilities that it can do, for sure.
Okay.
There is an element that you are familiar with that kind of bubbles up. This rage might build at a certain point, and that might have some kind of an effect.
So going for the real intimidation factor there, Brenna.
I mean, it worked for the other guy. I mean, and look at this thing. It's so cool. And she's like, she just can't help herself. She's like spinning it around. She's just like, look at how it's like a jaw. And it's got like a bit on the back. It's like for ripping. And it's got like it's so good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my other axe. But this one is just going to be, it's so fun. Check it out. Let's go. She's like, who are we gonna fight next?
I'm gonna just turns to Tree Oakville to be like, thank you for the healing. And then goes to try to tap his pat his shoulders thing, but it's confused as to where to put
There's
her
a couple
hand.
different tree branches coming out, not just two, and so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, so it's are you feeling all right? Do you think you'd be all right with moving forward?
I could move forward. Does anyone else require a restorative nature?
I'm all right.
I require us moving.
Are you doing all right, Brenna? You kind of got the worst of it besides Oakville.
If you've got more healing to offer, I would certainly take it if we're, heading into more fighting.
Of course.
And I will cast Healing Spirit.
Okay. this little spectral, almost green energy-like form emerges. And what does it look like? You've kind of gone back. It's a couple different things at this point.
Basically, I like wrapped vines around me from the earth,
Okay.
and they like bound me, and I kind of rock back and forth. And you can like see me just like mumbling a little bit of words, and you can just see just like kind of just like flowers blooming and then just like dying and then blooming and then dying.
Yeah, and so you can see dying petals fall and like litter the ground around the trunk that is Oakfeld's body. And as that happens, as each one dies, it's almost like the energy transfers into you. So yeah, you can roll healing for that.
Yeah.
I think it's like 5 times you can do that.
1 plus whatever your spell casting
Yeah.
modifier is.
And it's if it's a 4th level, it's 3d6.
So, but I think you can do that 5 times. Because in combat, it's once a round, and I think you can do it a number of times up to.
Yeah, it's
So you
once around.
Plus
with a
3,
bonus
so I can do it
action.
4 times.
Yeah, it's a chunk of healing when you when you upcast it. Nice.
Thank you.
6. And then
Do
I'll
you
do
need
it
more
again.
D6? Here, just roll a
10.
couple.
I don't know, got it. 13. 19. So 19 plus what is my modifier? 3. So 22.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And anyone else who's in the area who needs healing gets that as well.
That's a healthy
If
chunk
someone
of healing.
else needs it, then that would
Yeah.
top me off. So I'll take it.
I am totally fine.
I'm assuming Shay is now also back up top.
Shay was up when she.
Brenna's clothes
when
of mending
the
are
initial
still
burst
like
of healing
knitting back together.
It's like, as soon as it looks like everyone's close to being ready, I'm gonna start making my way cautiously down the stairs to figure out what's causing this weird silence.
Okay, so marching order, Akka first. Is everybody else following, and if so, in what order?
I'm gonna follow him because I'm like itching for more combat, but I'm trying to keep it cool. So I'll go behind him, but also I'm like really ready rock and roll.
Like right behind him.
Yeah, like looking over his shoulder.
The winged boots.
Trying to
Yeah, like
a little bit
hovering
higher,
up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
trying to sneak him like
Eleanor's probably bringing out the rear because she's getting the sinking sensation that she knows what's causing the silence. And she's not ready.
Akka, sorry, Shay is going to stay in the very, very back, just to kind of help us out.
as she does.
Yes, in terms of sake of easing Tina not being here for today.
I'd probably just slowly transform back into a human, like from the tips of my hands down to like my arms, and then my chest, and then legs, and then finally my face.
Akka, you go down the stairs. Eleanor, you and Shay kind of wait at the top for the rest of everybody else to come. And Brenna, you begin to move, and as you do, it smells foul down these stairs. And after just a moment, you realize it's not that it smells bad, it's that it smells really good upstairs. Hot iron. What are you doing with that?
I'm gonna let's see. Does it I'm gonna like turn around and be like, do you guys I'll just be right back. And I'm gonna go back upstairs.
Sure.
What?
So you all head down.
No, I'll be right there, you're fine.
Fine.
Yeah, I'll catch up.
You guys move downstairs. We'll get back to Brenna in a second. There's a 45-foot staircase of smooth stone steps, and you descend one by one very carefully, very cautiously, and it's almost as if this silence grows. At the bottom, there is a very small 5-foot wide, maybe 10 feet deep space, and at the end of it, you can see what is a 10-foot wide, 12-foot tall door of solid metal. You can see a circular impression, maybe 2 inches deep into the door. And within this space, you can see, though hear absolutely nothing, a swirling zephyr of arcane wind in a tight circle. It should be, by all accounts, and you can feel some of your garments kind of flap. Your cloak moves slightly, but there is no noise from the wind itself.
Do I need to roll perception to tell if the smell is getting stronger?
The smell?
Yeah, didn't you say there was a
You
smell?
didn't smell.
You didn't smell
only
that.
breath.
I'm
only
smelling
that. Okay,
something.
You look to the left, and you can see on the wall there is a series of arcs that together form small circles. Each is formed of 3 pieces that fit together at their grooved edges. Who here speaks Elvish?
Me.
Okay. Anybody else?
I do.
You do?
Yep.
For the 2 of you, you read, there are 4 of these little circles, each composed of 3 separate pieces. The first says, let chaos fall. The second reads, the winter wolf. The third says, climb the hill. And the fourth says, a fine descent. You can see on the edge of each as you kind of shift and move, there are tiny little metallic holes that seem to line up or not. And actually, give me 1 sec. I think I have physical things for you guys.
Physical things.
Physical reference.
Oh, hell yeah.
Find descent, climb the hill. Let the winter wolf, let chaos fall.
Okay. So,
It looks like I wrote Winter Wharf.
White Winter Wharf.
War?
Okay. Let chaos fall. There you go.
Let winter climb.
Sorry, it is the
hill.
Woken Wolf. Here, you can put those in there.
Okay.
Oh, the woken, not winter? Okay.
A fine descent.
Oh, a fine descent?
A fine descent.
Okay.
Well, I may have,
Climbing up that hill.
and actually, climb the hill.
Climbing up that hill.
Here, I'll put this.
And those are on the wall.
Yeah, and so you guys can see on the close up just a couple of those.
Got it. Okay.
But yes, you can see these 4 stone circles, and just looking at them, you can tell one of them would fit into the space that you see this magical zephyr moving through.
This looks like a puzzle from my experience. Some sort of puzzle.
Are you announcing? You looked at me and said that.
I'm announcing that to you.
Good work.
So, are these are not beyond the Zephyr, right? Like I can
No.
reach those
So-
without having to go into the Zephyr.
Only 5 feet deep is the space, 10 feet wide. The entirety of the far wall is this door.
Okay.
On the left-hand side of the wall, this 5-foot stretch, you see these 4 circles suspended there.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a closer look at these, I guess.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
And is there like a slot somewhere for these to go?
So even without making a roll, you can look over at the door. You see there is an
there's
inset
the-
piece
yeah.
that looks like one of these would fit. And you can see this arcane swirl of wind.
As he's doing that, I'm going to translate the Elvish to White Magnolia so she understands.
There you go.
All right. Investigation. 26.
The stone of these circles, the same stone that forms the walls and stuff, there's nothing as innately magical or special about the rock itself. But as you turn them on their sides, each one along the edge, you can see tiny little holes drilled into the stone or in some way fashioned, and they seem to move through and around. They almost look like the edges of this rock is porous.
So like the top of an ant farm.
Similar in
If
ways.
it was like a circle or a disc.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Even that cross section of an ant farm, you're seeing all the different like passages and stuff.
But like from the top, from like the holes, the entrances.
Yes. Similar to that, you're just seeing a
Like if
multitude
you
of
took
entrances.
a pancake and then stuck a pencil through the pancake, so that there was like a tunnel in the pancake,
and you
on
can
the
see all the
front edge.
yes.
little bubbles, yeah.
That is strangely a very accurate way of describing it. You can see the striation of the stone, not natural, but actually drilled in ways to look like there's little passages through.
Okay.
like man-made promise.
Yes, yeah, that's a real good way of looking at it.
Okay.
Can't get to the other door that has the slot for these without going past the Zephyr.
So think about it this way: the door itself has a 2-inch deep slot in the door, like where you would have like a window on a standard front door. The Zephyr is inside that slot.
Oh, it's
swirling
in the
within.
slot. Oh, okay.
Like a loading pinwheel on an old Mac.
Okay, so it's like one of those Avatar: The Last Airbender wind doors.
I've seen all of. I can't think of it.
In the air temple.
And they use the air temple,
And the things are like,
use an
and then they
airbender.
lock. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Except
I'm with you.
Aka's never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, but there is something as you look at this and you sort of feel the wind swirl about the room. There's a slight whistle through some of them, and perhaps, yeah.
All right, I want to go see. I'm gonna inspect, where the holes line up with the holes that are presumably in the inset.
Okay.
To see, because I'm guessing that they need to line up to allow airflow through certain holes or certain paths to unlock the door or something.
Okay. So Oakfeld, Eleanor, or the two of you just see Akka look at these things and then begin to kind of like size them up for this hole. Are the two of you doing anything?
Eleanor's gonna realizing that Aka's checked the puzzle. She's gonna look at it in a sense of okay, if we fail, what's gonna go wrong?
Sure. Make an investigation check.
This is not a skill that Eleanor really has.
As a rogue, that's
As
fascinating.
a rogue,
Investigation is an
Probably nothing will happen. It'll be fine.
fine, right? Right? I rolled a 2.
Which is?
A 2.
Oh, you're not proficient in
No.
investigation.
She took the other skills.
Yeah. So you look around. You're not in your familiar territory. You see no wooden walls of a ship. You don't feel the gentle sway of the ocean. You're in unfamiliar ground, and as far as you can tell, you see rock. You see this little bit of wind. Maybe it'll blow out and somebody gets knocked over. It'll be funny. But, as far as you can tell, nothing too bad.
Can I see if they move at all? If I just
Thank you for following along Chunky Cheese. It's a great name.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Can I see if they move at all? I don't want to push them, but just just a little slight touch.
You put your hand, and as you move it, you can hear this. So yeah, it will definitely move on the rock. These seem to be by tension as they're put in these pieces. They hold them all together and also keep them secure in a slot that seems to mimic the door. So certainly one of these would fit in, or at least 3 pieces together would fit in.
I'll relay this to my party.
Okay.
So there are definitely 3 distinct pieces that each make a circle that can be interchanged. So, okay. So, is there a phrase we need? I mean, these are all. I don't know about you guys. These mean nothing to me, but perhaps
They're
we're
in
looking
Elvish?
for something
They are in Elvish, yes.
for the door. Does the door require an answer? Normally, I feel like there's another words or something that's the question and the answer, and we have kind of we have wind.
You do have wind. So
There's one thing no one can take that away from us.
no one can take our wind. You all kind of coordinate on this and kind of taking the pieces and looking at them as a whole. You begin to discuss, but give me one moment. We're going to loop on back over to Brenna. Brenna. Upstairs, you alone, you hear the footsteps very quickly, almost unnaturally so, recede down. They get to just out of your sight range, and already you can't hear them, and you've seen Oakfell try to be stealthy. That's weird. But this smell, it pulls you a little bit further, and as you get closer, you smell meat. Like the best kind of cooking smell that you could imagine. And somewhere deep in your mind. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
27.
27. In the deepest part of your brain where impulsive thoughts live and spring forth completely unbidden, you feel this pulse, this pressure, this sensation. you almost feel like your legs twitch and move, but you just shake that off. Maybe these jitters from combat. But your eyes turn, you look for the source of this smell, and then your eyes fixate on the corpse of the Dragonborn. You can see the metallic green armor drenched in slowly drying blood. But whereas that would normally kind of make you shudder a little bit, you can't help but see that blood, tacky as it is, and compare it to maybe like a thickened sauce. And as you see, exposed from this massive critical hit, causing like a rent in the armor and the actual scales themselves, you don't see like a rib cage that's been sundered and these organs. You see like a huge rack of meat that's been grilled. Almost, it has the same look to it, and you can't imagine how you haven't seen that before. But there really isn't a difference between a Dragonborn and a cow. They both have ribs. They're both, relatively. They smell good. You take another step forward, and then you kind of shake your head. What are you doing with all this?
Am I clocking that? So I know. So, is there some part of me that understands that even though it like looks good and tasty, that it's like not food, it's a corpse?
In your society, people don't tend to eat corpses. So
Okay, so it's not like I don't know that.
No,
Okay.
this is very much an alien thought.
Okay.
This is one of those things where like all of a sudden in the middle of the night you have a craving that you've never had before, and even in 5 minutes you're like, gross. Like that would be so gross. But there isn't that following thought. All you're looking at, you're waiting for that to kick in. You're waiting for your brain to be like, you're just tired. But you're not. You're hungry.
I'm gonna like look around, like anyone here? No. And then I think I'm gonna try to be like
Perception check.
22. Oh no, perception's plus
Are you
7.
about to try to eat
26.
French fries out of
certainly.
the trash?
You look up onto the place where you fought that barbarian, and kind of looking at you, the head just tilted to the side. You see this raven, the dark eye. And then as you make eye contact with it, it turns again. You hear this flies off, and you can see off and in the direction that you all came from.
Okay. So like back the other way, not toward. Okay. That's troubling, but also I'm hungry, and I'm gonna kind of fight any impulse that I might feel to eat that corpse, and I'm just gonna dig into my bag and grab some rations and just
Make
eat
it
that
a Constitution saving throw as you resist this impulse.
instead. 21.
21. You feel your heart beat extra hard as you go in for this ration, and you look at it, and there isn't the appeal that you would normally have. But you open it, and you manage to almost kind of choke it down. It feels almost like it's spoiled a little bit, which can't be. This is relatively new. But you finish it, and you realize that you've been up here for a little bit. Your friends have been downstairs.
Yeah, I think that if I can just like leave this room, leave the bodies behind, maybe this will fade. So I'm just gonna try to shake it off as best I can. I also want to warn my friends that I saw the raven again, so I'm gonna head down there.
Sure. Little footsteps down the hall. For the rest of you, while that's happening,
That's where we're at here.
I was thinking about like descent and fall and
oh
climb.
my god, I love the. I didn't even think about that. That's one of the things that I feel like developers in games, when they're making like passwords, they like accidentally put in swears and stuff, and they don't realize it. That's great. I love that.
Were there any like patterns to the holes in the discs or the disc pieces and
Make
the
a flat
wall
intelligence check.
indentation? That's cocked.
And presumably you're removing all of them now to look.
I would be like looking. Yeah, like take a piece and sort of check the edges where there are the holes, and then like look at the indentation and see if there are holes where like, you know, like they're lined up like this so they don't work, but they're lined up like this on this piece so they would work.
Okay.
You know? Flat intelligence, 24.
24. This is a difficult task. There's dozens of holes in each, but you do begin to notice there are a few that seem like they have certain similarities. You're able to rule out a few. The one that just has the letter A on it, that single elvish character,
It's not the.
definitely not. It has the fewest of these little. It's not the. And actually, in fact, I'll go ahead and say you can take out the. With that intelligence check, the articles seem to be the simplest. And that makes you think. Maybe there is a similarity between the three correct choices.
Given that, I'm going to see if there are three that are similar, and I'm also going to be keeping in mind what the phrase could be.
So you're like, all right, no. You cross that right off the top 2 spaces on your list.
Yeah.
And
Just process of elimination, going through the algorithm.
111, 1111, no. 111, 1112, no. Okay, so
That's the combination I have on my luggage.
as Akka brute forces this, Oakfeld, Eleanor, as you examine this, is there anything that you want to do?
Just because I can't see the last one very well, it was the Woken Wolf,
The Woken Wolf.
Yeah.
not the Awoken Wolf.
No, the Woken Wolf.
Because my initial thought was like, okay, we have climb, and then we have awoken. That's 2 ups. Then we also have like descent and fall. It's 2 downs. Then we have a hill. Maybe it's like we're climbing up that hill and we're falling down that hill, you know, or like some sort of thematic.
I want to just point out, I wrote this before.
Kate Bush.
Yeah, not before.
Joe went back in time.
I'm not that old. I was born in '88. I'm not that old.
Shout out Rachel.
Before Stranger Things came out, I wrote this. So I no. I'll say with that intelligence check, you're like, it's not related to a song that doesn't exist.
Have I arrived yet?
Yeah, I would say at this point, you kind of shake it off and still finishing the last bits of this putrid ration, you make your way down to the rest of the group.
I'm gonna pull Eleanor aside and just let her know that I saw the raven and that it went back the way we came.
Oh, that's probably not good. It's probably an alert.
Yeah, so
Ellen's gonna start looking to see if there's a way to like barricade this room. Are there doors to close?
There isn't doors to close. There's the door to open and then the stairway up.
Yeah. On the top of the stairs, there wasn't like a.
It's like a 20-foot opening to accommodate the spiral. So it would be difficult. You could go up. You remember there's a lot of crates. There's beds. You could drag mattresses over top. I mean, that being said, the people that you're hiding from probably know where the staircase is.
Yeah, yeah. It was more just like, if there are doors, you can like slam and then like, you know, put like a piece of wood in or something. But like, the closest one would be maybe at the beginning of the training room. Were there doors there?
There wasn't. There was a staircase that went down into that like long hallway.
So there are no. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I look and see if there's any like, just like any dust of like this type of granite, like from the stone or whatever, on the ground? I'm trying to see if like maybe one of the pieces just maybe hasn't moved in a while.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
It's like stuck in its default position.
Make an investigation check. That's a great way of rolling stuff out. Good brain use.
5.
Good brain use.
Dan, good brain use, but Oakfeld. Dan is like, all right, we're going to look and see if any of these are not here for a while. Oakfeld looks and you're like, there's no plants. And you're going to start just looking around for any sign of life in this dark
Sounds
place. Hard to tell.
My honor.
sorry.
So before this check to kind of brute force this, is there anything else anybody wants to try?
Eleanor's gonna relay Brendan's message and be like, we might want to hurry this up if we have people coming up from behind. And then she's gonna take a look at them, and then so Akka's already checked to see like the holes if they lined up.
Yeah, and
In
like
the process of it.
yeah, in the process, it's a pretty long process,
Yeah.
but so far has ruled a few out.
Okay. So Eleanor's gonna like think to herself to see if like she can, if any of these like words are triggering like a phrase or like some sort of like, I don't know, like a mythos or something like
Sure.
where it would like make sense to put them together.
Make a history check.
It's probably just a flat roll because I don't think I have any intelligence at all. I don't.
You left
It's
it at
an
home.
8.
With an 8, I mean, it's tough. You've heard there's all kinds of different, wolf-related creatures in mythology. They're cool creatures. There is thinking about descents. There are all kinds of books about like deep travels to the Underdark. Your gnome companion from the Underdark. There's too much here to really narrow it down.
Okay. All right. I have no idea. But I'm thinking, let's do chaos and directions. That sounds like a theme we can go with. Like chaos and like climb and fall, or right? Yeah.
There are
Descent and climb and maybe
chaos sounds to me like one that I wouldn't want to use because it's chaos.
And there are both fall and descent.
Has that looking at the chaos one, does it seem like one that might fit?
All of them are of the shape that they would fit into the door, but
The holes. Yeah.
So again, you're matching them up to every single other one. There are some that seem like they might match up and some that seem they don't, but it's taken you a little bit. Eventually, you can compare them all. It'll take you a second, though, but you're working on it.
Okay.
Right. So, in the meantime, let's, because I can't help with this. I'm going to. Does anyone have any ideas about blocking? Can anyone block this hallway, just in case we get from behind?
Go ahead and make a flat intelligence check as this is all happening.
I'll just go and like stand in the doorway, like ready to bash the first person who comes down. But that's like all Brent I can offer. She's like, "Can we block the hallway?" And Brent is like, "Yeah, sure." Blocking.
There's now a small but mighty obstacle.
He's so small, so mighty.
Yes, Oakville?
No, I'm thinking.
Okay. With a 24, you look at this chaos piece and thinking a little bit about what everybody said, and you see Oakfeld kind of look, and Oakfeld's like, I'm going to look for dust, and then he starts staring at the ceiling. You look around, and chaos is one that you can see no dust upon. This one has certainly been manipulated relatively recently. And so you would imagine probably a part of it. And using this chaos piece, this is something that you can use to accelerate the process. What matches up with this? You begin to move, and you realize going piece by piece. Climb is the second one. And finally, after everybody, sort of is still putting their heads together, not coming up with anything.
I'm just like tunnel vision on everyone else.
It's like the manual version where you have the 3 ones and you're like moving, lock, moving, lock. The final one, you're trading these pieces out and you take out descent and you realize the 3 words that all have silent letters in this doorway of silence match up at the edges, and placing them within this door, there will continue to be a silent flow of air, but probably putting any other combination would have resulted in a loud whistling noise.
Would be bad.
See, I'm proud of myself for guessing the right answer for the wrong reason.
Very nice.
I feel like being in math class and using the wrong equation, but somehow ending up with the right answer.
Yeah.
You have 100%. The teacher says, show your work next time, and you do, and you get a lower result.
So, I guess having that flash of genius, I would put those 3 into the slot.
Okay.
Oh, there's 2 frazzled.
Place them one at a time. As you do, each one, the stone disrupts this arcane wind for just a moment before it goes into place. And it goes from silent to this sound that then suddenly resumes its quiet. You put the second one and the third one in. And the door, silently, you can see around the edges of it, these little plates behind retract into the door, and the door swings open inwards. Beyond the silent door, you can see elements of Nocturne similar to the ones that you've been to above. the same kind of metallic corridors and streets. However, the walls here, steel as they are riddled with holes. And here and there, the ceiling is caved in heavily, making sections of the hall quite narrow. You can see rust damage, and rust itself piling up here and there, with the weight of the structure above. The ground down support elements over the years have kind of buckled in, and everywhere moisture seems to seep in and run along the floor and disappear deeper below. The hall in front of you is long and only about 12 feet wide at its widest spaces. You can see it seems to go maybe 60, 70 feet. If any of you can see beyond there, can you?
I think so.
That's right.
I have 120 feet of dark vision.
About 100
Got
feet
about
away
90.
in this dark, you can see much better, it almost feels like, this T-like intersection where the hall opens up to the left and to the right. On the left, badly damaged, you can see like support beams kind of like closed in. Off to the right, you can see a little bit more neatly kept, maybe the path that people travel more often here. But even in this moment, this is a place that has not seen a lot of maintenance, and maybe almost on purpose. It feels like elements of the wall or ceiling could cave and give in. But you are now within the topmost level of what is known as the Sunken Stories, an element of Nocturne that slowly sinking down into the dirt and the mud of the kind of continental shelf.
This was like one of those areas where we debated about sneaking into
Yes.
Yeah.
Although you would have come in a very different place.
place. Yeah, but just like, this is probably not be fun.
I suppose I will continue cautiously onward
Into the dark.
into. Well, yeah. I mean, seeing how it looks like it's gonna collapse, I'm gonna go in areas where it hopefully won't collapse if someone were to bump into things.
Make a perception check. You begin to look around for areas of particular weakness.
That's dirty 19.
19. Okay.
Dirty 19.
That dirty
I thought it was a
19.
dirty 20, but it was not.
It is rusty down here. So your eye is sort of cast along, and you do see areas where if you're going to step, the floor could give away. You see one particular area, and now as your eyes examine it, almost certainly purposeful, but you can see what looks like this huge, almost like a 2x4 that holds up an element of the ceiling. And you can see in the very dim light an area that looks like maybe it's been cut through almost all the way, so that somebody stepping on the floor, displacing the floor a little bit, would cause it to snap and the ceiling would fall in. You can see there are many areas that just through natural neglect are hazards, and you can definitely do your best to avoid those.
Okay.
No problem.
I'm gonna like look back and be like, point out all of these areas, and then I'm gonna just fly through because
Yeah.
I don't have to touch the ground.
Okay. The rest of you?
Brenna's back to being like hot on Akka's heels.
Okay.
Now that they're moving forward.
Sure.
Eleanor's still taking up the back, but I'm gonna start sneaking. 'Cause
Make a stealth check, yeah.
I don't trust any of this. Oh, Troy, I am trained in that one, though.
Can we do a group sneak? I've been like
I would recommend
cautious, careful.
Yeah, go ahead. Everybody make a
I'm
stealth
gonna start
check.
sneaking. That's
We're still not in rocky terrain, are we?
No. Although, what I will say is, as you're walking and your feet crunch on elements of rust and broken down wall, it feels a little bit more familiar. This isn't just the smooth city streets of Nocturne. Now it's becoming almost like reclaimed. It feels a little bit more natural.
Is it like pitch black?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna cast second level dark vision on myself.
Okay. All of a sudden, in the darkness, there is this brief of light, and looking, though it doesn't last, almost like when you turn a light bulb off and you see like the fading glow, you see for just a little bit the pupils of Oakfell just kind of fade back into the darkness.
And as I do this, I'll probably, just to give my companions some other lights, and thematically, I'll turn into my 6 o'clock flower form
Okay,
and give the little glow.
sure. All of a sudden, there's like this 5 feet of dim, it's like almost like a bluish light.
Yeah, but I'm still smallish.
Yeah. And you know,
Cool, I got a sick cape.
Well, we were just realizing that Oakfeld had the dark vision spell
Yeah, I
this
wasn't
whole
here
time,
during
and
that
we
episode.
went on like this whole adventure to try to find an item. That's right, you weren't here that day.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was trying to like message the Twitch chat too, but I couldn't figure out my password.
Oh, no worries.
I never figured out.
The item that we got was like really
Oh,
cool.
it was so good.
Works out.
Sick cape. 2, it's thematically consistent for our group.
I was about to be like, oh, I have the solution to this problem.
that we've had.
Dude, like, why didn't you tell us a week ago?
I tried. Same exact thing with invisibility.
Yeah, right.
So, no problem. You guys begin to walk through, and for you, Eleanor, there is this apprehension creeping in. The closer or the further that you progress, the closer ultimately you know that you're drawing to your confrontation with Britta. The rest of you, this is creepy for different reasons, for all of you. For you, Oakfeld, being so far away from the sky and nature, for the first time since finding Melora's touch, you are very isolated here. And for a moment, you almost wish for that raven to return. That was at least a living creature. But you continue through the darkness. For you, Akka, having died very recently, and having just been through this
Same
combat,
shit, different day.
it is certainly uncomfortable going through this place. The only person amongst you that finds some level of comfort is you, Brenna. Being here reminds you of the Underdark, and you find yourself feeling more and more comfortable as you progress for the next 10 minutes through these winding hallways with the steel twisting and creaking overhead, moisture seeping down at your feet. Is there anything that you guys are doing as you walk?
I did just remember that the new axe does shed dim light for 5 feet
There you
around
go.
me. So Brenna's like a small
glow
little
stick.
orange, glow stick.
On one end of this, near the back, you have the slight bluish hue from Oakfeld, and up near the front, there's a slight embery glow of fire. And so you have these two lights at either side of your party. Everybody else can see the dark, except for, well, now you have the cape, so you can too.
Yeah. Eleanor is just kind of like, as much as she can hide in the cloak, she's just like slowly like been like subconsciously like hiding herself in the cloak as we go down the hallway.
Yeah.
And on her rapier, slightly paranoid.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'm just on a mission. I'm looking like, how do we get through this without dying?
Okay. So who's keeping watch as you guys are walking?
I mean, I think I'd be passively
Just-
keeping watch because
Anybody who has eyes out, make a perception check.
It's not Brenna.
I feel the paranoia creeping in, man.
Also, I got a natural 20 on my stealth check that you didn't ask.
Okay.
Right, I got
Fantastic.
Just
24, natural 20. So that balances out whatever happens to Oakfeld.
26.
Okay. And then perception checks from whoever wants them.
Oh, that was my perception check.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
21.
21. Okay. The two of you on the watch out. There's something that you do notice. You walk for 10 minutes. And as you look off to the left and right in Nocturne, there are streets, alleyways, different little diagonal kind of passages, staircases. And though you do see door frames and things of that nature, they have over time collapsed. This is a very narrow, singular tunnel that you've been walking down for 10 minutes. Towards the end of that time, as you begin to feel this and notice, for you in particular, Akka, with the 26, you peer into one of the doors and you can see this, what was at one point maybe like an apartment, relatively clear on the inside. And then you realize this hallway probably this way for a reason. And all at once, this no longer feels like a hallway. This feels like a funnel. Are you doing anything with that?
Kind of like the tomb.
Remind me, we've been in a lot of tombs.
It's like the tomb in where I died.
Yeah, not too dissimilar from that.
Leading up to the demon.
I'm
I
just having a rough day.
feel uneasy about it more so than I have.
Okay.
You mean it's like a funnel, as in it's
It isn't
just
getting
like
too
one-
much narrower, but unfortunately, because of the way the ceiling has collapsed and the walls have crumbled in, there are
Sort of
places where it feels
forcing you.
almost like it pinches you, and then you pass through, and maybe like 5 feet later, it opens back up to the main hallway. But it certainly, as you look to the sides, you're becoming more and more convinced. All these doorways and passages have not fallen victim to time. They have very purposefully been closed off. And then, as you are walking, you look down, and you chance, as you are kind of thinking about this, to note along the floor an area of dust that is perfectly clear, very complex, and you recognize probably a glyph of some kind inscribed into the stone.
I'm gonna inspect this glyph
Make an
and
Arcana
stop
check.
everyone from going towards the glyph.
One way in, no way
An
out.
Arcana check.
21?
Something about this glyph. There are elements to it that you absolutely understand. When it comes to arcane stuff, because most magic works through the weave, there are fundamental similarities, even in different languages, that unite characters. Anybody who is well studied in magic, whether it's draconic, elvish, whatever, they can look at a symbol and be like, oh, I can see the 3 sides of fire to this. I know that this means fire. There's some of that here. But there are elements to this that you don't understand. It looks weird. It looks unlike most of what you've seen. Make a flat intelligence check if that doesn't ring any bells for Matt.
It does, but I don't know for sure because it rings a couple of different bells.
Sure.
Too many bells.
It's 9.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Bell choir.
Kind of falls away from the edge of your
I'm
mind.
thinking like Gray Lady, the Infernal from the fucking kid who sucked. That's what I was thinking.
From Little Edward?
Yeah.
Baby Edward?
Yeah.
Baby Edward.
A kid who's
Oh, you guys weren't here for Baby
We
Edward.
weren't here for the kid who
This
sucked.
is like,
Let me grab Baby Edward.
Oh
Baby
god.
Edward's a fuck.
What did you just call it?
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a rock.
He's a right limey fuck.
It's so dark back here, I actually can't see him, but I'll grab him at the break. He is literally a mini that I found from a game called Molly Fox, and he is an infant in a diaper on the ground holding a butcher's knife with a little teddy bear nailed into the ground. And Baby Edward is just he's like a familiar,
fucking
basically,
like
as far
Demon
as you
Baby.
can tell. But no,
Past 5 seconds have been a roller coaster.
that was for the Gray Lady. The Gray Lady's great. Anyways,
Great.
there's not a similarity there.
Okay.
You're not really familiar with this as far as you can tell. You reach back and you feel like it's in your brain somewhere, but you just can't pull that memory right now.
Okay. I suppose. Do I have it prepared? It would be nice if I did.
Eleanor's just like vibrating out of her skin in the back of my Shay.
Sure.
I do, but I
we're
don't
stopped.
have any
Don't
more
know
spell
why.
slots if I want to save the one, so I'm not going to use it.
Okay.
I want to figure out, is there a way to pass by the glyph without activating it?
Purposefully, you can see it has been designed so that you can absolutely step on one side of the hall, walk through, no problem. If somebody unfamiliar with it were to step on it, it would probably trigger something. But you can just walk to the side of it without
fly
any
to
issue.
the side. I'm just going to fly over,
Okay.
but I'm going to be like, don't step there.
I'm ready.
You watch and supervise Oakfeld as he totters across, apparently, unable to walk, and you no problem make it by this. Unfamiliar though, and very strange. You're not used to not really knowing what arcane stuff means or is. So think about that. You continue to walk. Another 5 minutes goes by,
Thinking about it.
and this hallway begins to kind of curve. And you're not familiar with curves like this, except for along the exterior, the kind of curvature of Nocturne as it hugs the ocean. But aside from that, not super familiar with this kind of architecture. And you begin to realize this is certainly a funnel. There are areas where the wall has been carved clean through and then the material realigned so that this is now like a shifting curve. And it is getting narrower here.
Does it look like something has passed through this funnel in like a liquid form or something? Like when you say funnel, it makes me think like someone's pouring fucking coffee down it or something. Yeah. Like Like, are we about to get hit by a deluge of...
Make a perception check based on that description. Great work.
Deluge.
Deluge.
Massage.
Is this a perception with my eyes?
You tell me. How are you investigating? Are you using your eyes? Or are you closing them? And just
Well, because I have advantage on perception checks to see,
Had a special eye.
but I don't have advantage on perception checks to hear
Okay.
or smell.
So ask me again what you're rolling for.
For the deluge.
Okay. So unless you're listening to hear if there's
I think
water,
I'd probably be looking at the walls
Then
and
yes, if you're
trying to
looking,
figure out.
you close
Okay,
your
so then
eyes.
it is an advantage. Okay, so that's a 24.
Okay. With the 24, the way that it looks with the flatness of the ground and the dust that you see settled, probably not a liquid.
Mm-hmm.
You think back to as you were flying on the winds of change, you passed by a ridgeline, and you remember the Dark Meadow Militia had created these obstacles to funnel the undead into a single choke point to be killed again. More like that.
So we're going into the funnel,
Yeah.
not out of the funnel.
Correct.
Yeah, we're walking into we're gonna get stabbed
Yeah.
real hard.
All right, everyone be on your guard.
Would I be able to? I've done this before. I've been able to sense the aura of the sun.
Make a perception check.
This is aura. This is how you sense with other things.
Sun's out. God's out.
11 plus 8, 19.
You close your eyes. You reach for the sun, and you're deep down within a metal city, and you get the sense that it's probably pretty far away. It is night. So,
dang.
hard to orient at nighttime.
Yeah, I can't find the sun at night.
You could probably find the moon.
Yeah, the sister of the sun.
Not as cool.
Yeah, not as cool.
So, you guys continue to walk, doing anything different?
Just being extra on guard, knowing that we're going into what is certainly a trap.
Okay.
At this point, I think Eleanor has been chanting in her mind, trap, 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 and is kind of starting to accidentally say it out loud.
Okay.
This is a trap. This is a trap. This is a trap.
You continue to walk, the curvature becoming a little bit more extreme. And after another 10 minutes, you reach a point where all of a sudden the curvature slightly opens up into more of a straight hall. Still lots of collapsed spaces here and there. Although, unlike other areas here, you can see there are a few doors open. There's one shut, but a few with the door completely missing. But that's not what catches your attention, Eleanor. Who's leading this group? You, Akko? You're the first person that sees this, and as you're walking, a little bit unexpected, you come upon, bent down on the ground, an elf, shirtless, wearing blue pants. And as you get a little bit closer, Eleanor, you recognize this individual. This is one Quendel Sunsquall, one of the Thanes of the Three-Tided Court, one of the very people that you sold Brita out to. And here he kneels in the darkness of the Sunken Stories.
He's alive? Has he noticed me?
Your special elvish eyes. As you've made very, very, very clear, your special elvish
No, I got
eyes.
the fucking, it's my artificer thing.
Your special artificer.
My artificer goggles.
We make fun of you because you make such a big deal every time.
Because I gotta clarify if it's to see things with perception or if it's
He
to
does this in
smell or
Starfinder with
hear
his
things.
battle eyes.
Because it's very specific advantage for only
He's
things that I can
special
see. If I can't hear extra well, I don't have fucking mega speakers in my ears or something, or hearing aids.
In the darkness of the space, with your magical, special, super awesome, unique eyes that only you have access to, you can see
They're just
this
prescription
individual-
glasses.
You can see this individual's chest, the back really, rise and fall very softly.
I cautiously and slowly get my arm into stabbing mode.
Eleanor, seeing Quendel and kind of mentally putting together of we are fucked, is just going to be like, everyone, Get the fuck down. We're probably gonna be shot at.
And for what it's worth, you would remember Quendel, certainly a powerful magic user. You've seen both Brita and Gale use magic. Nothing compared to what this person can do. That's probably all that you would really know or remember about them. You would remember they have very bright, sunny magic, and so there is a dark contrast. But they don't look hurt necessarily. They look almost like you would remember, maybe a little skinnier.
How far away are they?
At this point, maybe 45 feet, and it's hard to see them clearly because there are areas where the ceiling is caved in, the wall slumping down. Off to the right, you do see, I think, that there's an open door. In fact, let me go ahead and get you a little visual perspective.
As you that's Quendel the Three-Tide. Like saying specifically to you, Baka, to see if it triggers anything
Does
for you.
Quendel of the Three-Tide Accord mean anything to me? Because I know of the
Make a history
Three-Tide
check.
Accord, but I don't think I know anyone personally from the Three-Tide Accord.
Make a
I
history
just know
check.
that they have
You guys are entering right
an
there.
active presence in the city, right?
Like you?
And indeed,
history
here's
check?
shirtless as promised.
Here's a
As
little.
promised.
Oh yeah, no, I like to. What you see is what you get. Could you slide that a little bit further towards the? Yeah, there you go. So there, for everybody at home, you got a little close up of the map, as much as we can get in there, anyways. But I'll switch over to our combat camera here.
Does Quendel look? Did you say he looked
Throwing it up and around by accident.
like more like bony? Did you say that? I'm trying to
Is it
remember.
thinner?
You had not met him before, but for Eleanor, who had,
Yeah,
he
I
does
was
look a
trying to
little
remember if
thinner.
you said that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I probably don't know that.
My history check was a 19.
Okay. With a 19, you think about that name.
Quendel.
Quendel, not so much, but Sunsquall. Sunsquall is an interesting name.
Squall.
There are a handful of magical items that have made their way into Dominion over the years from a place far to the east, from beyond the Sunrest Islands. That was just funny to see out of the corner of my eye.
Look over here.
Yeah, so from to the east of the Sunrest Islands, there is a. Do you want some help?
I'm so sorry.
What are you doing?
There is a dwarven citadel
Thank you.
called the Citadel of Salt.
Yes.
This dwarven citadel is part of something called the Anacrean Alliance. The Anacrean Alliance engage in a semi-warlike pursuit against the Sunrest Island leadership, and currently occupy that through cultural means, although also militarily. The Three-Tide Accord is a group that broke away from the Anacrean Alliance, not agreeing with their policies and the things that they were doing, made their way across the ocean and settled in Nocturne, where they carved out the Three-Tide Accord ward. This particular individual, you don't really know, but Sunsquall, that is an Anacrean noble name.
So, he's probably pretty high ranked in the Three-Tide Accord, or...
Anacrean nobles are the only ones within the Alliance with access to magic. And beyond that, because it is something that is definitely like a gate-kept process, those who do learn magic typically...
pretty strong magic users.
Yeah, and they acquire these secrets and kind of keep them to themselves, usually pretty potent. And this one you can see bent down on their knees. You can see this blonde hair, a little bit damp, kind of hanging on the side of the face, and the back just rising and falling very gently. Brenna, you hear in the back of your mind this... but not coming from within you. It feels like it's coming from the walls around you. Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, no.
26.
Oh, yay.
I have +9 to Constitution saving throws.
In the back of your mind, again, you feel this pulse, but you resist it. But it smells good in here. This individual takes another breath. They're 45 feet away. What are you all doing?
Eleanor is going to look around to see if she can spot someone hiding in the shadows, waiting for us to approach.
Make a perception check.
She's just assuming that he's placed as a trap if he's not himself the trap. That is an 18.
With an 18, you look around. You don't see any other people. You listen. You don't hear them breathing from this distance. You can hear the creaks and groans of this hallway under pressure from the weight above. You don't hear anything. For a moment, you almost feel like you can smell blood. But you kind of look to your side. You see Oakfeld, healed as he is, just dry blood coating his garments. You look over at Brenna, and Brenna's clothing is like stiff. Mostly not even her blood. But yeah, that it might be coming from nearby.
It's crunchy.
Ugh.
Can I try to get sneakily flying closer
Like a stealth
to
check.
get an idea? Like, is this person... Because, like, the three-tied accord we found out was working against Brita in the city.
Seem to be.
So it's weird that they're here or have a presence down here unless they've been captured or something and might not necessarily be our direct enemy.
Make a
So I
stealth
want to
check.
like see, is this person like under some sort of control via the mask or something like that? Sneaky.
I'm just
So important.
23.
You get closer, lifting off the ground with one of your steps, and then just floating. As you get closer, he seems to be alive. You don't see any chains. You don't see any arcane marks of control. But you also can't really see his face. And typically, if somebody is dominated or the other things that you've experienced, that's kind of where you see it.
Okay, so
Okay, you're within 20 feet if you want to be, and you are not detected yet, as far as you could tell.
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm 30 feet away so that I am within range, but only just.
You're only 30 right now.
What about the rest of you? You can see Akka getting pretty close. The rest of you following behind.
yeah, I'm just gonna draw the rapier and kind of position herself, because this is like rubble, right?
Yep.
So
You can see there's like two support pillars in the middle of the hallway that rise up to the ceiling. He was kind of crouched over directly in front of one if you want to just wedge him over 5 more feet. But he is kind of almost his back to this pillar. You see the rubble, which is difficult terrain up until where it gets to the wall. And at that point, it becomes the wall just caved in.
okay, so Eleanor is going to sneak this way and look into, and kind of like slide and see if she can look into that room.
Okay, make a stealth check.
It's a minimum 24, so
That's pretty good.
I got 30.
Jesus.
I mean, that's going to be really close. You rolled a 19. Give me 1 second here. Ooh, okay. You get very close to this individual to sneak into this door. And there is no door. You can see as you sneak into the room, you take just a glance, and you can see he takes another breath, breathes back out. You take another step in. He doesn't seem to have noticed you. You can see there is a door on the inside of this room. I mean, what you see is really what you get. So you can see the bathroom kind of further ahead. A lot of just kind of dirt and debris, but mostly empty.
Okay, so see that he still hasn't noticed me. I'm going to like kneel down and see if I can like see his face at all.
Okay.
To see if it's there.
You kneel down. You get really low. You almost lay down. Make a perception check. And make it at advantage. You're very close.
13.
Oh, jeez.
Get down. It's kind of dark in here, and even with this cloak, you can't really see, and the cloak kind of goes over your eyes, and you have to kind of like pull it away, and then as it is a magical item, it almost back down, and you're like, I can't really, hard to tell.
Did you say that I thought it smelled good in here?
You don't just think. It smells good.
Can I pinpoint, like, is there like a particular spot? Like, does he smell good? Like, is it coming from up ahead?
So as you sniff and take in
important.
this deep breath,
Phil needs just a big turkey leg.
make another Constitution check. Yeah, it's just a buffet. Because our Constitution saving throw. Sorry,
15.
15.
My honor.
I think he
Big
said it
turkey
in the
leg.
walls.
Okay.
The
So
walls were heartbeat.
Oh, is it hard?
in this moment, as you take in this deep breath, and you can smell the sense of almost like cooking meat, and though there is no spice, there is the raw sense of like a well-cooked meal earned and cooked over an open fire at a campsite. It smells so good. You hear again this and it gets louder, and then unbidden from the inside of your brain, this voice only you can hear erupts into your ears. Oh, I smell meat. And because it is about 8:30, this is where we're going to take a quick break.
Boop, boop,
So-
boop, a doop.
Thank you for hanging out with us so far. I'm going to switch us back to some nice chill music. And we're going to step away for 10 minutes. So it's 8:30. We will be back at 8:40. We'll see you then. and welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us through the break. If you're just joining us, welcome as well. Hello, the Role Players Guild. We're having a lovely night. Matthew will be joining us in just a moment. But if you are just tuning in, we are getting back within the Sunken Stories and part of Nocturne, this giant walled city built very much in the style of the walled city of Kowloon. Welcome back, Matthew. That has sort of been almost artificially turned into a funnel. And as you all progress down the hallway, you found an individual kneeling in the hall. Give me one sec. Let me bring our music back here.
The stress music.
The stress music. I don't like to think about it as stress music, although I do have it labeled as creepy scarecrows. Ooh. So, ahead of you in this stone hall, kneeling, and for you, Eleanor, just 10 feet away, you see this sea elf that you've met before. They're kneeling in the space. You can see the back rise and fall, still alive. For all of you now kind of gathered at the end of the hallway, I can put this combat camera up and show people where you are. And a quick close-up here. And again, if you want to see more of our hand-drawn maps, at Alberon RPG on Instagram.
You're so good.
Thank you. You can all see this individual. What would you all like to do?
So I'm going to turn back and attempt to hand signal, even though it's probably going to be completely, incomprehensible. But I'm just going to engage with the person.
From this voice that you just hear still echoing in your ears, you suddenly see this flash of movement. Your hand tenses on the axe. You feel this slight singeing sensation in your arm. And as you look down, now having heard the voice, you can see on the bare parts of your skin these little, almost like goosebumps you would think at first, but a little too big and in weird patterns. But so far, that's all you can really see.
It's upsetting. I'm gonna... Oh, God. I'm gonna put aside the voice for a second just because I can only focus on one thing and just try to identify the source of the meat smell.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Well, because if he's the... All right, 16.
16. You look around, you smell, you turn around, and behind you, interestingly, as the wind from that arcane zephyr above blows the scent of the room above below, you can smell a little bit of meat from there, but that's not where this is coming from. Whatever this is, much fresher. The same way that people can feel walking through an orchard and smelling the unpicked apples, this is more like that. This is fresh.
Okay. So...
Meat. You turn your head forward. You feel as if this comes from somewhere beyond. And then again, kind of breaking your concentration in the back of her mind, you hear, "Brenna, we're hungry. You need to feed us."
Oh, it's venom.
What? Yeah.
I thought it was the Little Shops of Horror. Feed me, Seymour.
Little column A, little column B. Eleanor, again, you see just this motion. And Eleanor, are you just kind of going over and talking to this guy? You're not looking at Bretta, so you see no real strife happening.
Do I see the signal?
I look back and I'm just going to be like,
I'm just gonna wave to her.
In the
I
dark,
just think there's any reaction from anyone.
I get ready. If it looks like things go south, I'm gonna ready up to vortex warp him.
So remember again, if you prepare a spell,
Using it's not my spell, using my spell storing item.
Okay, so you get that item ready.
Well, it's
Fair
my
enough.
arm.
Yeah, so you got that ready.
Brenna just softly goes, "What?" That's all I
You
got.
two hear that. You don't hear anything. All you see is Oakville just go.
I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I'm just be like, Wendell, you all right?
You see the rise and fall of the chest kind of hitch and stop. And the face rises. You can see the eyes do look very peculiar. There is an element to them that looks unnatural, pointed and fixed. But he does, a little bit slack-faced, speak to you. "Eleanor, you are fighting a losing battle." He stands up now. You can see, not emaciated, but definitely skinnier. You see here and there elements of bruises, old cuts that have healed, and around his wrists and around his ankles, you can see deep, kind of festering cuts that look like marks from manacles or something similar that have worn in over time. But currently free. He stands, his eyes fixed on you. You can see they glance behind you, definitely taking in the rest of your party. But he just stands there.
So I realized I have the hood up. So I kind of like flop it back down. You know, I can't see with it down, right?
When you take it down, as long as you are attuned to the item, I believe
still
you do
works.
have the
Okay.
dark vision. I think I wrote it for that reason.
Yeah.
But also, for what it's worth, still with that on, he looks up, he says your name. Seems to be able to see through your disguise.
Yeah, I figured.
Big magic
something's
man.
Up. I feel like, I know this is folly, but we have to still try. We have a healer. We can. Can we see to your wounds?
You don't understand. We already tried. And Eleanor, you are a good source of information. But you are not a great magic user.
I have one. I'm not alone.
You gesture over your, you turn, you see now all of you, this individual turn and lean. Is anybody reacting to this?
He's not attacking, right? I still got I'm just like ready to warp him if I need to, but I'm not doing anything until it seems like things are going bad.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm distracted.
Okay, fair enough.
I already waved, so.
You see, again, Oakville's hand's already up, but just another little... He turns back to you. She won't let me let you pass.
I was worried about that. We must pass. Unfortunately, this is bigger than anything that's come before us.
And in that moment, suddenly the head snaps back, and you can see the air almost ripped from the body, and this awful sound. He sinks down to his knees, or his body does, but you see the knees just contract up, and he floats 3 feet up in the air.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
Meat
pupils
puppet.
dilate to pinpoints, and the voice that emerges is not his own, although you recognize this.
Okay.
The eyes first glance at you, they fix, but then they sweep across, and the pupils, like, pinpointed, and you can see the veins on the inside of the whites beginning to deepen and redden. But this person says, poor little birdie, so far from open skies and the sweet embrace of the ocean's waves. You've all come to stop me, no doubt. And as you can see, she gestures to the group beyond you. I can't be having that. You see, there's a war coming. And there are spoils there, the likes of which you wouldn't believe. Once I looked around, and now she turns back to you, and I saw a world of riches. But now I see everything. And you can see she turns. Calypso's calls to me, and I mean to make it there. And I'm so close. I can't be having you stop me, and I want you all to know this is just business. But Eleanor, you killed Storm. You killed my first mate. For you, it's fucking personal. And suddenly, you hear in this room behind you, this individual, this horrible sound of meat hitting the ground. Brenna, for you, in the back of your mind, you hear, now we can eat. And I need everybody to roll for initiative. And for you, we can start with you using this item if you wish.
oh yeah.
Hey.
And all of you, you hear your heartbeat begin to escalate, and then suddenly you're aware it is not your own. For some of you, from Matt as a player. You have actually fought this creature.
Oh,
very
whoa.
similar one before.
Oh, it's the Heart Man. Lonely Hearts Brigade.
Lonely Hearts Brigade.
I knew that there was something big and dead nearby.
As this heart golem wanders out. Give me just
Lonely. He's got a bunch of
second.
skulls on him.
No, he's
He's not lonely. He always has friends. Yeah,
He
that's
just
how
brought
that
his own friends.
It's like the SpongeBob. The gang's all here.
Him spoopy.
So yeah, you would remember in the year, I believe it was like 946. You fought this
Valentine's
creature.
Day.
Yes, this is the Valentine's Day one shot we did because I hate like lame Valentine's Day one shots. So instead, we had a creature made out of hearts.
Aw.
Not like those, but like
Yeah.
physical. Those kind of hearts.
So we pull up our combat camera, and let me do a close up. Or somebody, could you just kind of hold that the heart golem up there? This is
Ascend.
yeah, so just
Over
off camera
that
now.
way. Yeah. Nope.
But-
and that way. There we go.
It's teamwork. It makes it work.
It's
So
upside
yeah,
down.
this is our little heart golem here that you guys are now kind of seeing begin to ooze through the wreckage. But anybody natural 20 for initiative? Okay.
Probably shy.
No, actually, although she gets advantage on initiative, that's fair. Still not a natural 20, but better. All right, give me 1 second here. All my notes.
This is good battle music.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so 25 to 20.
24.
24 for Akka.
Oh, sorry, 23.
23 for Akka. Anybody 20 to 15?
So I
19
would
for
be
Shay.
19 because it's reliable talent.
Okay, what is your dex?
My dex is a +4.
+4, so Shay goes first, followed by Eleanor. And then anybody 15 to 10?
11.
11?
12.
12. Look at that. You turn the music down for you just a wee bit. All right. So 11 and 12. 12 for Brenna. And 11 for Oakfeld. So the way that this shakes out... I don't know why I'm sweating.
This is sweaty actions happening.
It's from just standing up and grabbing this 1 minute. Oh God, I've really worked hard today. All right, so Akka's going to go first, followed by, and actually 2 nights in a row this works out that you are working on an advantage and you go first. So Akka, you are going to go first, followed by Shay, followed by Eleanor, then Quendel, then Brenna, then Oakfeld, and at the very end of this this heart golem. And for all of you, you're instantly aware, beyond the sickening slap, suddenly there are multiple hearts beating from this room. It is very loud. That being said, Akka, from down there in this hallway, you see suddenly from from within this wrecked room, blood begin to seep out of the wall itself and then seem to take form as this creature through. You see the arm get stuck and then kind of tear and rip and reform on the other side. Behind Quendel, there is now a 13-foot tall mound of beating hearts and bone and muscle. What do you want to do?
Does my ready to action happen and then my turn goes?
No, so this is what you would be using as your action.
Oh. All right then. I think then I'm gonna use my bonus action
Okay.
to put my
Your friend. Echo friend.
where the I just I was
Oh.
playing with it over. Put my echo form 30 feet, so I'm like behind him.
Okay.
That's my bonus action.
There you go.
And then I'm going to use my action. I guess I'll try to hit him with an old firebolt.
Who are you trying to hit with a firebolt?
Floaty
Floaty
man.
McGee.
Yeah.
Floaty McGee.
Floaty guy who I was like ready in action for.
Sure. So go ahead and roll your attack for firebolt. Oh my God, I forgot about this. Let's call him.
That's a 25.
25 hits.
All right.
Remind me, did you die to this creature in the one shot? I believe everybody
I
did.
think I did.
Yeah,
I probably did. All right. Come on, big damage. Ooh, all right. That's 19 fire damage.
19 points of fire damage, and this is against
Good
Quendel,
start.
correct?
Good
Yeah.
start.
Alrighty, give me just 1 second. As this firebolt strikes, you can see the floating figure. It hits and seems to almost bounce off. It does damage, but not as much as you would expect. How much was that?
19.
19. Okay, so you would imagine probably halved. Alrighty. Anything else, Akka?
That's my bonus action, my action. I have my movement, but I don't. I'm gonna try to get cover behind that pillar there.
Is it a pillar or is it like a box?
It is a full support
okay.
pillar, and you can see like on all four sides there are rings where torches once stood, but
Right.
no longer. Right now, you duck behind the pillar after firing off this little bolt. You see it hit like the exposed chest and almost screech off. You see like a little bit of darkness, but not nearly as much damage as you want. Anything else, Akka?
I think I'm gonna. No, I think my echo form is good there.
Okay.
Floating up at his height still, because he's floating too, right? Like 3
Only like
feet off
a
the
couple
ground.
feet off the
Yeah,
ground,
so
yeah.
I'm like matching his height with my echo form.
No problem. You do that. That is your turn. That brings us to Shay. Shay is going to no. Because nothing has happened yet, Shay is going to do what she almost always does. She is going to stand near Oakfeld, and she's going to take patient defense for a moment and kind of see what happens. But that is Shay's turn. Eleanor, what would you like to do? And then Quendel is going to go.
Okay. Eleanor's gonna. Does Quendel still look like he's still floating? So he still looks like he's gripped.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna take out. She has her rapier out, and she's just gonna be like, just gonna stab him.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
At advantage because of my thing?
Is
What's
he
your thing?
flanked?
Yeah, I think so.
He's on
right?
attack.
Because of your shadow form, yeah, absolutely. This is an advantage, so this would be a sneak attack.
Flanks.
Okay, so that one. A 28 to hit.
A 28 hits. Yeah, this bare-chested sea elf, no problem. You hit him dead in the stomach.
Okay, and then. So that's 35.
35 points of damage. Damn. And as far as you can tell, this magical weapon of yours, full damage to this individual. 35 points.
Nice.
Damn. He's looking pretty rough. That's a big hit. And this guy, he's a magic user. And from his position, you know this is an individual who sat on like a council, not used to really fighting his own battles. That's a lot of damage.
So as she like thrusts the rapier in, she's gonna be like, Quendel, I'm sorry, but you're in the way.
The eyes suddenly open, and you can see no longer these pinpoints. He falls to the ground, and the rapier a little bit further in. You can see he almost grabs it and then thinks better of it. The eyes flicker around. You certainly ungripped, but you still just stabbed. Anything else, Eleanor?
So I'm gonna back up, but I'm gonna back into this room.
Okay.
And since I stabbed him, he can't get an attack of opportunity.
Correct. Fancy footwork.
So I can just be like, ha, ha, ha. And then I could use my bonus action to stab him again.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. You haven't been able to do this part yet, but yeah, it's one of the greatest things about this weapon, for sure.
Yep. And
Still at advantage?
Yeah, but you only get sneak attack once around.
But still advantage.
It is still an advantage, yes.
Because I'm still flanking.
so you're still in. Okay. Cool. It's probably gonna hit. 25.
25 hits.
Oh, I forgot to add my actual weapon damage.
Yeah, that's an important part.
Oops,
Every bit
oops,
counts.
oops. So, for the first hit, that would have been 11 more damage.
11 more.
And
Nice.
Oh,
Level 4. And I just rolled another 7, so it's about 11 damage now.
so 22 on top of the 35 was
he
it?
is hurting. The first thrust goes straight through his stomach. He is unarmored. You see he sinks down a little bit further on your blade.
Makes that
you
19
pull it out,
feel
kicking back. You
piddling.
roll like end over end into the room, skidding to a halt. You take the sword and throw it almost backhand, and it goes end over end before righting at the last second and scraping across the chest. You can now see almost this like bleeding tea as it drips down his bare skin. He is badly hurt. And you can see the eyes flick over to you, and he goes, "I can't stop this even if I wanted to. Please." And he holds up a hand, and you can see readying something else. But anything from your...
I'm going to sidestep so I'm out of direct line of sight.
That's probably...
Cover! Yay!
Before I get fireball.
We like cover.
It is now his turn, and you can see as the hand held up at you starts to shake. Right as you step into the doorway, you see this mote of light. And for all of you in the darkness, those of you who are not used to this, it is this welcome return, and then it becomes blinding. As at 8th level, he is going to cast Sunburst.
Do I get cover behind the pillar?
Yeah, do I also get covered?
So
Behind him.
And the pillar.
from the palm of his hand, you see this spot of light, and then this brilliant flash of sunlight moves in a 60-foot radius around. A point centered. It's going to be on you, Brenna, because you are the clearest sight line that he has. That's going to hit all 4 of you, and actually, honestly, with 60 feet, my thinking is it's going to
60-foot radius, that
Yeah.
hits
That definitely
everyone.
hits
that's going to hit
That also hits
Does it hit the monster too?
Big,
Yeah.
big O.
it does. So all of you, please make a Constitution saving throw.
Is it a magic effect?
This is a magic effect. It's a spell.
Is this fire, any sort of fire damage?
As
Or is it
far
radiant?
as you can tell, are you asking for resistance?
Yes. I don't know why I would need to know that. That's crazy, but like just curious.
Why are you asking? Why are you asking the fire damage? You don't know quite yet.
What?
So are you trying to resolve an effect?
No.
Okay, cool. So no, this is
Radiant damage?
give me 1 second.
Half radiant,
This is
half
radiant.
fire.
No, this is radiant damage.
Okay.
I definitely failed.
Trying to be cool enough.
Akka, what was yours?
22.
22.
26.
With a 22, you take 21 points of radiant damage.
26.
26, you take 21 points of radiant damage.
Can I
Brenna,
do absorb
13.
elements?
that's a reaction?
Yes.
You absolutely can.
Okay.
What was it?
13.
How does that
With a 13, you take 42 points of radiant damage.
Less.
Eleanor.
I don't know if damage can
I'm
take-
gonna use. Can I use the reaction to have it? But no, it's line of sight. No, I don't
No,
think
you
it
have
does.
AoE effects. When you fail a save, you can take half instead
If
of.
it requires a dex saving throw.
Oh, yeah, dex saving throw.
Yeah, no, I can't do either.
You said
of those,
22?
right?
One of the problems also with it being line of sight is that
Okay, so
the
then
2 of
minus
you
4.
are blinded. As this brilliant light takes place, Akka, you shield yourself behind the pillar, and Oakfelt, you are already behind Akka. But for the 2 of you, just a little bit too exposed, you take this bright light straight to the face, and you are blinded for 1 minute.
Oh, that's so long.
It's
Why would
rough.
I even do that? That was dumb.
Remind myself.
You will get to at the end of each of your turns. You can remake that save.
All right.
So, this bright light clears. There is this ring, and for all of you, the scorching radiant damage washes across you.
then I'll just take
But that is his turn. That is going to bring us to Brenna. As this damage washes over you, suddenly, aside from just the normal anger that you feel, there is this hint of an almost elation. And within, you can hear this voice, "Now it's our turn."
Brenna goes, let's do this, and she rages.
Time to feast!
Eleanor, can you put that on? The Brenna.
Let's see. Do I have a wild magic that lets me avoid being blind? No.
That would be nice.
These are two crappy ones. All right. Shadowy tendrils lash around me, and each creature of my choice that I can see within 30 feet, which I think only encompasses our friend here,
Yes.
He needs to make a con saving throw DC 17.
Con saving throw DC 17. He does get advantage. This is a magical effect, right? This is your wild magic surge. What was the DC?
17.
That is going to be a 16.
All right. So he takes 11 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And
Yeah, banged up.
I also gain 9 temp hit points.
You see, he doesn't take as much damage as you would hope, but definitely takes some.
All right. So now I'm raging.
Okay.
For the record, my Echo Form failed its save because it has to make a save too.
Unfortunate. Annihilated by 12d6 of radiant damage.
I'm just gonna charge forward and hope for the best.
All right.
I'm gonna try to like orient myself, like if you can't see, but like what direction you're supposed to go. I'm just gonna try to run forward.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Roll a d4.
It's fair.
1 is towards the thing.
2.
So you're going to turn and slam into Oakfeld. You're like, let's do this. Oakfeld, you kind of like sheltering from the radiant burst. You're like, oh, I saved it. Boom. You get knocked over from the side from Brenna, who's like holding the axe, looking around, the eyes like super dilated from the bright light. But you kind of bump in. That takes 10 feet of your movement. You can kind of reorient and try again.
Can I try again?
Yeah, roll a d4.
3.
3. This time you turn and you just sprint the wrong way down the hall.
Oh, no.
What's your movement?
I'm 35. Oh, but you
35?
said so 25 now.
Okay, so you move 25 feet off the map. You run and run and run, and you feel suddenly on your side the beginnings of the wall curving, and you're like, shit. Even through the rage, you're like, I'm going the wrong fucking way. But anything else on your turn, Bretta?
No.
You stand there swinging. There's nothing around you. There's a loud clang and a of fire as you hit the wall. But you are alone.
Do I get to try to save again at least?
It is the end of your turn, so you do.
What is it again? Con?
This is a con save, yeah.
11.
You
Oh, no,
are
sorry, 12.
still blind. You begin to rub at your eyes, and you cannot regain.
I had so many good con saves before I used them all up.
Your turn, Brenna. That brings us to Oakfeld. Oakfeld, you kind of rub your shoulder as Brenna goes screeching off into the darkness from where you came. What are you doing?
I'm going to move up to there.
Okay.
Here, actually, because I can only do...
Sure. On your roots, you crawl forwards.
I can reach him there.
Okay.
And I can...
It's about 10 feet as the Brenna flies.
I can basically attack him with my spear.
Yeah, make your attack roll.
Fell him.
17.
17 hits.
Plus 10. Yeah,
That 27 definitely hits.
Now it's our turn.
That is 1 plus 4, so 5.
So you have seen this rapier carve through this individual. He is weeping blood from the chest, from the stomach. You step forward, and so far away, you swing this, and just the tip kind of right across the shoulder.
My second attack, that is a 5 plus 10, 15.
A 15 just misses, unfortunately.
All right.
So even bare-chested, he kind of stumbles out of the way. You swing wide.
And then I'm going to bonus action vanish.
Okay. You are invisible now, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Here's your invisibility. Again, you feel suddenly so exposed, and almost innately, you turn invisible.
Yeah.
No problem. Anything else?
That's it.
Alrighty, Oakfeld. It is now the Heart Golem's turn. Give me one moment to pull up his stat block because it's big. Alrighty. That is when he does a melee attack. That's when he does a melee attack. So he is going to stomp forwards and immediately hook left and going right for Eleanor.
Can you like squeeze through here?
Oh yeah, you can squeeze through any space that
it's
is
like-
that is a foot or wider.
Because he's just like.
The bones are not. Everything is held together by like stray muscle strands, but none of it needs to stay connected. So it can literally like rip off its own arm, throw it over a fence, and then like unlock a door for itself. Not that it has the intelligence to do that.
Oh, this
But-
is Venom.
Yeah. This individual is going to go ahead and attack you with 2 claw attacks.
I know he's there. I don't have to see him know he's there.
Nice.
No, I mean, you are aware of this for sure. Being right upon you. As it gets close, you can hear these like 1,000 beating hearts discordantly pulsing with excitement. And I need you to go ahead and make a DC, or go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw as this begins to attack you.
Oh, great. Con save, my favorite. Oh, 20!
A 20?
Nice.
Okay. Even with this, maybe it helps that you can't see it. You feel fine, not frightened of this horrifying thing. You can't really see it too well. However, it is going to attack you. The first hit is, or the first strike is going to be a 30.
You know,
You are going to be taking 13 points of slashing damage. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw, please.
12.
The first strike hits you hard in the side. You are knocked to your knees. And in that moment, the other strike, instead of grabbing and slashing across you, these huge bone protrusion talons wrap around you. And you feel yourself lifted up before being slammed into its chest. You feel around you, and you are now considered incorporated, which is restrained with a couple extra things. What
Oh,
did
he's like,
that
he's
say?
got your blood inside of you.
There you are.
I want to be incorporated.
In addition, as this blood strikes you, you are taking the effect of the impure blood feature, which means you are taking an additional. Oh, where are my D4? They're hard to pick up. Oh, damn.
Use them.
You're going to take 10 points of acid damage.
You said it was 12 points before, right?
For which?
The slashing. Was it 12 or 13?
That was 2d6. Where are my d6? 6, 7, 8, 9. That was 12 slashing damage, and then you are taking whatever I just said for acid.
Yeah,
I
so,
lost
so
it.
it's 22 total.
There you go. Yeah. And as you are currently incorporated into it, it cannot use its second attack against you, so that's nice.
Yay!
And with that is its turn. That brings us to the top of the order. Akka, what do you want to do? Shay is on deck.
Oh boy. I guess bonus action. I'm gonna make my echo form. What do I keep doing? Oh,
You keep playing with the echo form.
Scoop-a-doop boop. Right here.
I forgot when I wrote this creature. This was like 3 years ago. I was still kind of learning how to homebrew things. The challenge rating is written as highly.
Highly challenging. Yeah, that's not wrong. So that's my bonus action. Then I'm gonna go ahead and use the old
What you doing?
I'm gonna use my. It's not metal, right?
As far as you can tell, this hulking creature of blood and bone and hearts has no real metal components now.
All right, then I'm gonna use my action to cast mirror image on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my action surge,
Okay.
and I'm going to go with my 1, 2, 3, fly kind of right here to get into its range and make a couple attacks
Okay.
with my actions. What? No. And I believe they're at advantage because
Use flank, yeah, absolutely.
I'm flanking with my guy.
So technically, as long as Eleanor is within this creature, always flanked.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which, for what it's worth, within this creature applies for you as well. You are restrained, and so difficult to really attack.
First attack is a 20 something. Let me see. 26.
26 hits.
All right. Second attack is a 27.
27 hits.
All right. And then I'm going to use one of my things that I didn't realize I had, but now I know I have.
handy.
Unleash Incarnation.
Okay, yeah.
Attack with make one additional melee attack from my Echo's position
Yeah.
for a 17.
Okay, a 17 just hits.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so that's 3 hits. Let me see. That's a couple of these guys, a couple of these.
And when you use this feature, the echo vanishes at the end, correct?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It does not say.
Very nice.
Yeah, no. I have uses that are, I think, based on con.
That
or
makes
something.
sense, yeah.
Yeah. So I have 3 more after that. Oh, I'm looking right at it. Okay. That's 9, 15, 22. So that's 22 plus 40 points of slashing, magic slashing.
40 points of slashing?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because it's 2 attacks. Yeah, or 3 attacks. Yeah.
40 of
Fantastic.
magic slash. Magic slash.
So you carve into this thing again and again, this protrusion from your mechanical arm cutting through blood and viscera like butter. You can see as you carve into it, whole elements of the arm slough off onto the ground, and you see almost back onto the body, but this damage certainly sticking. It looks hurt. Not terribly so, but for the first time, you see elements of it bleeding, perhaps, and not meaning to. Eleanor, you, for what it's worth, as this does take 3 attacks, this impure blood triggers each time, and you will be taking
Fine.
5 acid damage,
Okay.
7 acid damage, and 5 more acid damage.
All right.
17.
Every
Not as much
time
as
the
the
blood
damage
splashes out,
Are you
it
bloody
kind of falls across you, and you feel it begin to burn. Whatever it is that creates this is foul sorcery.
I'm not great.
Okay.
Akka, is that your turn?
Just doing that.
I think I'm gonna use my movement because he's pretty well encompassed. I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to get back.
Okay.
Flip back.
So, as soon as you make that last cut, suddenly the shadow form swirls, and there is a of shadow energy that lashes out, seeming to almost carve elements away. You feel it almost strike you, Eleanor. And then this echo form seems to almost diminish slightly. But no problem, you tuck yourself back behind the pillar. That brings us to a different turn. Give me 1 second here.
I think it's the mage's turn.
Eleanor's like
It's
covered
someone
in blood.
who's not on the map.
Oh, so you can hear suddenly from up above, and then again, and at the very end of their turn, you actually hear, "Well, fuck." That is going to be their turn. That brings us to Shay. Shay at this moment is going to streak by you, Akka. You almost get spun around as she is going to strike Quendel. Once. That actually is a miss. Look at that. Second time is certainly a hit, and he is
that
going to
back.
make a Constitution saving throw.
To get not stunned.
He is not stunned. I'm going to go ahead and, on Tina's behalf, flurry of blows. He is going to take 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits.
Oh, he's probably dead.
Constitution saving throw on the first. He's going to succeed, and I'm going to keep some of her key points for her to use. But that is still going to be a grand total of 10, 12, 24,
He was already
23 points
pretty
of
bad
damage.
looking, right?
He's not looking great.
He's a squishy mage who's not wearing anything.
He's not looking great. And then all of a sudden, Shay flies by you, Akka, and you can see using that momentum, she flips over, and with this long spear, the feathers kind of attached to the end, she brings it down in an arc, and it almost severs one of the arms. You can see the muscles that hold it together completely pierced and now loose in the wind. You can see down to the gleaming white elements of bone. This is a deep cut, and you can see Quendel, falls, sinks down to one knee, and just barely pulls himself up. He is in bad shape. But that is Shay's turn, and that brings us to Eleanor. Eleanor, you now engulfed by this blood and hearts all around you. You can just hear just these heartbeats in your ears. First of all, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw as you begin your turn engulfed. Incorporated, sorry. 20. You fight off the fear yet again. You are, I believe, restrained? Restrained. Incorporated, yeah, but restrained for all effects and purposes. So you know the restrained condition. But anything that you want to do.
Okay. Can I try to break free?
You can. So you can either make an attack roll and try to like damage it to get free, or you can make an athletics check to try to break free. Either way, you just know that being restrained puts your attack rolls at disadvantage.
Yeah. So.
Do they balance out because of flanking?
Yeah, you would imagine.
Yeah. So Eleanor kind of having like a moment being like, I'm not strong enough to pull myself out. She's just gonna try to stab her way out.
Yeah.
Because so far, stabbing things has been going great.
Flat attack
Fine,
roll.
I don't need that dice. I have an extra one, it's fine. A 17 just hits. So it's sneak attack damage, right?
This is. Well, no.
No,
it needs to be at advantage. And so if it's because you are.
But he's engaged with another.
But it's
person.
balanced out because you have disadvantage, plus the advantage makes it a neutral.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, too, it. Give me 1 second. Let me look at one thing real quick.
Yeah, because I think I'm thinking of is like the.
How does he have disadvantage? Because of the incorporeal thing?
You don't need advantage on an attack roll of another
Eleanor has
enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it,
Because she's
and that enemy is not
Okay.
incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage at the death.
And actually, I think because of where Oakfeld is, then yes. I don't think. Yeah, I'll say that this would be counting as a sneak attack.
It wouldn't have been a sneak attack if Oakfeld wasn't there.
If Oakfeld or the Echo Form was not
Well,
there.
if Oakfeld wasn't there, because then I would have disadvantage on the roll because it wouldn't be flanked. But since he's flanked, it cancels out, so it's a single roll.
It is a single roll, but we're going to give you sneak attack damage for it because of the feature that allows that to happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say like there is like the
Since
feature.
there's no disadvantage
There's no
that says
disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm saying that more for me now understanding,
Okay.
less for you.
Okay.
So yes, make a flat roll, and because that was a 17 that hits, that is still sneak attack damage.
All right.
Excellent. We got there.
Woohoo.
I love D&D. There's so many rules. It's great. This is a terrible.
A lot of dice, though.
Terrible. There's so many ones here.
Ooh, hate to see it.
This
I
is
like
not
to
a
see it.
great time for there to be a bunch of ones. Another one!
Another.
Excellent! That's only 24 damage.
Hey, you know what? That's still a pretty good amount of damage.
Every little bit helps.
It does, and certainly it's a little bit. You slice in, flailing around from the inside, and you feel pieces carved away. They hit you, they run down your clothes. You are covered in blood and muscle tissue, but as far as you can tell, you're still not doing a lot of damage. The creature doesn't even react to that. Anything else, Eleanor?
She's just basically... Because I can't do anything else, I don't think. Because that would be my standard action, because that's the melee, not the bonus.
You also take 5 points of acid damage as you do so.
Yeah. Eleanor just screams.
Okay.
Like a really, like, deep, like, mortal fear scream.
Owie!
Yeah.
Yeah. And from this scream, you can hear it filtered through 1,000 beating hearts. It has this weird warble to it, and it echoes through these liquid-filled chambers and gives it this unnatural, drowning feeling. But, yeah, anything else, Eleanor?
Love that.
Screaming.
Just screaming.
That brings us
As you do.
to our elf friend. He is in rough shape. However, he has his directives. Again, he's going to look over. He doesn't see Eleanor anymore, but he's going to look at Shay, the wrong person to plead with. And he is going to say, oh, you know what? He could do that, though. That's probably what he's going to do.
Please don't punch me again. Sorry.
Please, don't punch me anymore. You can see he almost takes like a half step back, and he's going to say, you can't even stop her. The ritual is almost complete. He pulls out from the sort of pants pocket of what he's wearing. It's like a tiny little metal cage. And as he opens the door, he's going to cast Mental Prison on Shay. And so Shay is going to make an intelligence saving throw, which is she has advantage on.
Shay. She is immortal, right?
That is a natural 20.
Jeez.
So Shay, no problem. He opens this cage and this magic seems to almost completely encompass Shay, and you can see this lightning bolt scars grow even brighter. The blue illuminating the entire hallway in bright light for just a moment, like a flash of lightning, and it doesn't work. He grits his teeth. That is his action. He can't really run away.
Well, he could if he wants to take a bunch of hits from opportunity attacks from Shay.
And me.
All right, that's going to be his turn. That brings us to Brenna. Brenna, from where you are, in front of you, just this huge creature. And with every cut that you hear and kind of feel, it smells better.
Brenna's.
I'm over here.
Oh, yeah, you're way over there.
Brenna's 25.
You can still
feet
smell
down the
this
hall.
just as strongly as you could if you were like right up next to it. This smells enticing, and for a moment you kind of spin around, still blind. What are you trying to do?
Brenna, over here!
You probably heard Eleanor scream.
Can I alter self into a version of Brenna that can see?
This is using the hat.
No, using the
Alter self.
axe.
Oh,
I thought you had the hat.
the
I have
alter
no.
self-
It's not. It's not the hat.
That
the
that
axe.
as far you know that won't work, but I like it. I like where your head's at.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right. So I'm gonna turn around so that I'm oriented toward Akka.
Okay, you
And
hear that.
can I use the wall? Just now that I know what direction I'm going, can I just feel along the wall so that I can go the right
Roll
way?
2d4.
2d4.
Yeah.
This way! Come this way!
Trying
Don't-
so hard. 2 2s.
No, the other this way.
This time you kind of take a moment, you stop, you take 10 feet of your movement to kind of like, ha, 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 and you're not really sure. The echoes here, the heartbeats, Eleanor's scream, Akka's voice. Roll 2d4 again.
A 1 and a 3.
This time, with Eleanor's piercing scream, you almost narrow, and now you smell this fresh meat, but you smell other flavors. This is like Eleanor's blood, this creature's blood, Quendel's blood, each one its own unique and inviting aroma. And this time, you just move in that direction. No problem. You can move as far as you want down the hallway in the direction that you're trying to move.
Smorgasbord of flavors.
So, as far as I want?
You're up to your movement.
Okay. I think you said I got like
You're 20.
You're
I
25
was
feet.
25
away, yeah.
feet, so I think that gets me about here. All right. And then... Did I ask already if my rage went away?
You
think it would have, right?
did not take an attack or give an attack in that turn, so yeah, you're rage on.
All right, so I'm gonna re-rage.
Okay. Bonus action, rage again.
Yep, and then we'll see if anything super cool happens. -6.
Wild magic rage is great.
Yeah. All right, so until my rage ends, I am surrounded by multicolored protective lights. I gain +1 to AC, and so do any allies within 10 feet of me.
Very nice.
Enjoy Akka.
So suddenly, these motes of energy just operate into being around you. You don't see them, and so as far as you can tell, like, the normal effect didn't work, and you're like, "Fuck!" You get even madder. But for all of you who are not blind, beautiful lights flying around Brenna.
All right, can I just use my bonus action? So I forget. Can I use my action to just move some more?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
You're taking the action dash.
Yeah. Oh,
You
right.
do your
I've got
movement
it.
speed.
I've got it confused because I think of it as a bonus action, but only
Rogues,
because
it's a bonus action.
All right. So I'm gonna dash and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just get like up here.
Okay. You run forward, you kind of collide with something, and feeling the familiar form, you kind of like slide over to the side. You almost strike, like the urge is there, and it's more than you've ever felt it. Yeah. But you manage to kind of move to the side. You feel and smell delicious meat in front of you.
Nice. That's my turn.
Okay. You get right to the edge. That brings us to Oakfeld. Oakfeld, from where you are, you can see all of this happening. Beautiful bright lights dancing around in the vicinity. What would you like to do?
Was Wendell, did he move out of my attack range?
No, Wendell didn't move.
Okay.
Wendell couldn't move because of Shay.
He's totally good at it. I'm going to finish him off
Okay.
with my reach.
Make your attack roll.
6 plus 10.
That hits.
Oh, that hits. Nice.
He's a shirtless sea elf. You would imagine he probably has mage armor on, but it doesn't really boost the AC that much.
Well, I also transform into my Oakfeld itself.
Okay. So you shift and turn into a tree. Your spear incorporates into your arm. And now, no longer a spear, serving the same purpose, but you have this long, almost tree ant-like arm with these jagged branch-like claws.
15 damage.
15 damage. Damn. So, with 15 damage, you reach forward with your hand, and this is almost like that group thing where you slowly reach forward and the fingers pierce out straight through this individual's chest. You see the hole that was made from the rapier first now just widen. You can hear the chest cavity crack open and almost spring the flesh itself, like the bone no longer holding it together. Could have fallen down dead.
Nice. Good.
Excellent.
That initial attack did a lot of damage. It was like
50 something.
It was like 40 something.
I was worried he's going to get away somehow.
35, something like that.
When the...
I mean, he's not getting away.
Yeah.
He's definitely.
and my second attack, I'm going to... The blood guy.
Okay, you swing around to try to hit this creature.
17 plus 10. So that's 27.
That is a hit.
And... Where's my d10? Yes.
That's an 8.
Oh, that's an 8. There it is. 3 plus 4, so 7.
7 to hit or 7 damage, sorry.
Damage.
Alrighty. And is your weapon considered magical?
No, it is not.
This does not seem to do as much damage as you would wish. That's very little damage. Alrighty, anything else, Oakfeld?
That's it.
Alright, you turn into this tree, you pierce Kendall with your almost piercing fingertip spear, and as you withdraw, the hand grows back to its normal size. You try to lash out again at this creature, and you carve through, but it's almost like the muscle separates around your blow and doesn't do as much damage. That is your turn, Oakfeld. That brings us to its turn. Given...
Damage from that.
Yes, sorry, thank you for reminding me. Appreciate that.
Also, you forgot to collect our homework.
Listen, I might not want to die,
gotcha.
but it's probably happening.
So you take 7 points acid damage, as that certainly sinks in.
Bye.
So Eleanor hits 0. The pendant of the scarab breaks.
Okay. Whew, that's helpful because, if you're at 0 hit points within this creature and anybody deals damage to it, you're taking a death saving throw automatically.
Yeah. We're back to 1.
As you feel the darkness overtakes you, there's this tiny... The glass falls down this little bit. It's almost like this scarab sinks into you like a tick would, and the liquid drains in. The glass breaks afterwards, and it falls away like a dead tick. But you have that 1 hit point left. You come to covered in blood, your body aching, acid burning across your face, in your hair, on your clothes. If you've ever seen The Descent, this is like the scene at the very end where you burst out like covered in blood, except you're still inside. For all of you, Eleanor is visible. You can see her in the ribs, in the viscera.
That is good.
She is restrained and kind of bound by the muscle and the gore, but you can still see her like go unconscious, snap back, barely hanging on. But
You need a +1 to your AC
turn.
now. Yeah.
Oh, also true. Yeah, look at that.
Look at
On
that.
its turn, considering now everybody's close enough to it except for Akka.
When is your turn?
I'm third in the lineup. So
You can see all of a sudden
Akka, Shay.
this creature stands up straight. You leave the ground as it does so, your feet kind of dangling, and the heartbeats intensify so loud that it becomes deafening. I need everybody within 100 feet, which is everybody, to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Man, I really used up all my good con saving throws, huh?
All right, this guy gets fucked.
Okay.
And Akka got a 22.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
14.
Sorry.
14 and 15 over here.
Yeah.
So the two of you again succeed. The two of you fail. You are both, let me see here.
Scale.
On your next turn, so you are considered frightened of this creature, and on your next turn, not like you can really get away from it, but on your next turn, you must use your movement and bonus action to move as far away, or sorry, as close to the golem as you can. And sorry, not afraid. Until the end of the next turn,
Charmed.
you are considered raging. So, Eleanor, within this creature, for the very first time, now barely alive, clinging to the very last bits. For the first time now, everything sinks in. This ally of yours, one of the people that you hope to turn against Brita, now dead at Oakfeld's feet. You are in the middle of a series of beating hearts and blood and gore, and that fills you with rage. You are now considered raging. And in addition, you are going to be taking 3 points of psychic damage. So you, unfortunately, dropped out. Brenna, you take 3 points of psychic damage as well.
I rage for a split second, and then I just
It's like a little kid that gets so mad that they fall asleep. It's like the same kind of thing.
I forget to breathe.
Yeah. Pass straight out. But you are, again, unfortunately unconscious within this creature. And that is going to be its turn. So that is going to bring us to the top of the round. Akka, what do you want to do? Again, above you, you can hear the thump, the thump, and you can actually see elements of the ceiling beginning to cave a little bit. What are you doing?
Where are the elements of ceiling caving relative to
On the
this
map, it would be the
heartland?
last two tiles.
Over here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Right above.
I can see Eleanor now.
Yeah, you see unconscious, this body about 2 feet off the ground as this creature is standing upright.
Vortex warp Eleanor out of.
Very nice. So that's because you're unconscious, that would be a save, right?
You can choose. The target can choose to fail the save, or it's a con save.
Does it need to be a willing creature?
It says you magically twist space around another creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
The target can choose to fail, or the target is teleported to an unoccupied space of your choice.
So you automatically fail, as you are unconscious, so you teleport to an unoccupied space. Very
I'm gonna go ahead
nice.
and bring Eleanor.
30.
Okay, Eleanor's no longer raging, no longer restrained.
I have all my rings.
Out of range of danger range.
You pull the brush out and spin it in the spiral motion.
Within 30 feet of you.
This character that emerges is one part calligraphy, one part ribbon, and it streaks into the creature, wrapping around your wrists, your ankles. You can't feel this. You are unconscious. But all of a sudden, this arcane energy yanks you through the creature. Through one of the ribs, like catching on your face, coming out with the creature, and then right back into the body. But you are suddenly just dragged across the ground and appear over there. Still unconscious. And that deals no damage, correct?
No.
Very nice, very nice.
And then I'm gonna use my bonus action to get this guy back. Hey.
Hey.
There he is.
Reappears.
Welcome back.
And That's it for me.
I like the idea that this is just some guy living in like a parallel dimension, and every like couple of minutes he
like
just gets
sitting on the
yanked
couch,
into a
like-
horrifying place. But as far as you can tell, just a shadow.
I gotta go again.
That brings us to somebody else's turn. So, hang on one second here.
Like a
I want
year
them to
get
come through
through
this healing.
Excellent. The first attack that is made, you suddenly see the metal rent down the middle as an axe sinks through, and all of a sudden, 3 Goliath come tumbling down. You see Eldred, you see the leader of the group, and you can see the other quieter kind of Goliath. The one covered in ink no longer seems to be with them, but the 3 of them just spill out onto the ground. You can see Eldred Oakfeller, the one that you guys met, kind of looks up in just pure confusion, and you can see Brenna? Let's attack! And they all stand up. They're going to use the rest of their movement to get forward, and then 2 of them are going to get full attacks. So first one, that is going to be a natural 1 and a 19. That's going to be a hit for sure.
I am so
Second
glad
attack.
I got pulled out when I did.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was
He's
I was
just
not
dead.
expecting that.
it was poetic.
As soon as I could see you, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
The first one kind of misses. The other 2 both hit twice each. And so that is a mess of damage. Where's my D12? Okay. So that is 15 and 14 points of damage respectively as they lay into the skull. And that's 31 total. That brings us there. They begin to swing hammers and spears into this creature, now carving it apart, and you see acid going everywhere. The text says anything within 5 feet is taking this damage. So I believe
A lot of people.
Everyone.
That's all 3 of them. That is not Shay. That is Oakville. That is Aka's
Brenna.
little shadow guy. That is not Kendall's corpse.
And Brenna. You forgot.
And Brenna. I said Brenna. I thought at the top. Either way, everybody but Eleanor and Aka. You guys are going to be taking a little bit of damage.
Just a tiny bit.
Eleanor super owes Akko one at this point.
So that is
Do, but they just don't say it.
14 points of acid damage to everybody in that circle.
Damn.
Yeah. Not to Eleanor, not to Aka. And your echo is still there?
Did it take any damage?
It took that damage.
It is definitely
Gone as the acid
has
blood
1 HP.
rains around. You can, they're carving into it though. That is their turn. That brings us to Shay, who I think probably at this point is going to back up. She's going to disengage, back up, and take.
Because she's out of its range unless it's 10 feet, right?
Oh, it definitely has reach, yeah. And she definitely assumes that, given how large it is. She's going to disengage, back up, and take patient defense in front of Eleanor, who is not looking the best. That is going to be Shay's turn, which also simplifies my life. Eleanor, what do you want to do?
You gained 7 HP.
There you go.
I'm up.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
You could theoretically spam Eleanor back to life, and then she would die instantly if she was still within that creature.
Yeah,
Infinite death
that's what I was
loop.
thinking. That's why I was like, I shouldn't even heal her. Just
Infinite death loop.
let her just.
Just stuck.
So you
horrifying.
feel as you now kind of reorient yourself in this new space, this little bit of pollen kind of fall onto you, and you heal a little bit more. But what do you want to do? You're behind Aka, behind Shay.
As long as you're below
Eleanor
half.
snaps back to life. And kind of gets up as quickly as she can, which I imagine is very wobbly.
Yeah,
gross.
and now you hear additional yelling and shouting, and you look over, there's Goliath here, Kendall's on the ground. Things have changed.
Am I still blinded?
I forgot about that.
I believe that condition ends when you become unconscious, so
Okay.
probably not. No.
Okay. So now I can see.
Plus, since he's dead, does the spell end?
No.
Okay.
No. That's an
not
effect
concentration.
related to the spell, yeah.
No. Even though she imagines the golem can't understand her, she's still gonna scream at it.
Okay.
And just be like, "You coward!"
Sure.
I'm going to attempt a panache against the golem.
Okay. It needs to share a language with you, correct?
Yes, which I'm assuming why it wouldn't work, but she's gonna try anyway.
I'm going to go ahead and say you don't even need to roll.
Yeah, just
As you yell that out, you see no registration of recognition. Probably doesn't speak any language.
Fair.
Does this mound of hearts.
Yeah.
Only language
And then I'm gonna send the rapier through the golem.
There you go. Make an attack roll.
So. Oh, it's 20.
That hits.
It's engaged other people.
Yeah, this is a sneak attack.
attack.
It would be impossible for anybody to see what's happening in this melee. There are, 3 8-foot-tall gray people wailing away at a 13-foot-tall mound of hearts. There's a lot going on.
And a tree man.
And a tree man, yeah. That's like the least weird thing here.
Finally, Oakville feels normal.
Yeah, you fit in right. This is your zone. You're like, this is where my religion should really start.
This is where I belong. Heart golem. How is my honor?
It's never not funny.
30. Sorry, my brain kept like losing the number. So
You carve into this thing with the rapier, it disappears into the viscera and comes out. You can see like skewering 3 different hearts, which almost wither and dry on the blade before cracking off. It turns around, right back through the hole it made in the golem and returns, hovering over your shoulder. Anything else, Eleanor?
Eleanor's just probably gonna like put her hands on her knees and probably just vomit some blood.
Not sure whose it is even at this point. But it's all over your nice food.
Prestidigitated off of me.
This creature is starting to look a little rough. You're now seeing elements of it drip off and not return. It's beginning to look hurt. That brings us to this corpse's turn. He's not going. He's an elf on the ground. Brenna, you are blind, but very much in the mix. What do you want to do?
Technically double raged.
I am technically double raged, yeah.
Are super raged.
I'm gonna now, so I know that I'm next to him because like how could I not, but I assume I'm still attacking at disadvantage.
You are, yes. Technically it's flanked, so no, you're attacking flat.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm just, at long last, I am finally gonna swing my axe at something during this fight.
There you go.
Do it.
19 plus 14. 35?
35 hits?
Did I get that right? Yeah, 35.
What did you roll?
35?
Damn, yeah, 35 hits just a little bit.
All right,
One Brennan.
so that's 16 damage, and it is magical.
How's that
Damn,
not a
okay,
critical?
that carves in.
35?
I rolled a 19.
Fun, 1920.
Okay, yeah,
Not
that
this
hurts
weapon,
it
no,
for
there's
sure. That carves
plenty
in.
of other good stuff.
That's like slices a piece out. You can hear from in front of you somewhere, yeah, Brenna! There's this like little cheer from the Goliath, but another attack?
I love that guy. Yeah, another attack. 30
Yeah,
to hit.
It's like the Goliaths are Brenna's personal cheerleading squad.
I love them.
They've never seen such a small creature do so much damage. Like to them, this is amazing. And like there's a half bit of novelty and a half bit of like wonder in this. Yeah.
And that's going to be 20 damage. Again, magic.
Damn. So all of a sudden, now that Brenna has like somebody pointed her in the right direction, this is a little kid with a pinata right in front of her. She is wailing on this creature, and you can see all of a sudden it sinks a little shorter, cut off at the knee on one leg, and all of that blood and hearts just kind of falls and crumbles on the ground. This thing is starting to look pretty hurt. Anything else, Brenna?
That's going to be it. I'm below half HP, so do I get the 7?
Yeah, on the start. Your turn.
And at the end of your turn, go ahead and repeat that save against blindness.
15.
15. Unfortunately, it's a little too low. You're unable to blink out your eyes. You can see like phantom shapes and little ghostly like silhouettes. Your vision's still not fully back. That brings us to Oakfeld. Oakfeld, tree man, what do you want to do?
I'm going to attack.
Here you go.
At advantage, because
Oh, with
you're
advantage.
flanking.
Yeah. So it's 11, 10. So that's 20.
20 hits. 21 hits.
Yeah.
No, it's 17, isn't it?
There it is, yes.
5, 9 plus. So 11.
Okay. Everybody in 5 feet takes 6 points of acid damage.
Yeah.
I forgot from Brenna, but I'll go ahead and just say that was a nice little gift for you guys.
Thank
I
you.
just don't want to do more.
How much? 7?
Yeah.
Okay. I gain 7 HP anyway. So.
Nice.
In addition to below half, I also gain 7 each turn. So I just lose 1.
That is handy.
Second attack. 18.
Nice.
That's a hit. That's a 10. Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
10 points of damage.
Well,
this
Going
thing's
really well, you
really
guys.
look
10
hurt.
plus
Plus
4.
4, so 14.
Oh, 14.
Yeah.
All right. And everybody within 5 feet is going to be taking an additional 6 points of acid damage. Gotta keep track of these Goliaths.
83.
One of them is not looking great.
Oh no. No.
Buddies!
And bonus action, my polearm.
See if she would have.
Okay. Make one final attack here.
At advantage.
9. Oh yeah, advantage. Okay, so 19.
19 hits.
Yeah.
Maybe if we live, Brenda will have a nice epilogue.
5.
5 points of damage. So, in this moment, everybody else is also going to be taking an additional 7 points of acid damage.
Yeah.
And after this final strike, so first what you see is Brenna carve deep into this creature, and the whole creature sloughs to one side. And in this moment, you see an opening. Your hand stretches out, the fingers becoming almost like vines that wrap around the rib cage. And with a mighty pull, you snap the entire side of the rib cage off and rip it out. Like 13 or 14 hearts spill onto the floor, still beating, still kind of sliding with the beats as they begin to crumble into dust. He is badly hurt.
And then I'm just going to do. That's it, actually.
Alrighty. That is the end of your turn, Oakfeld. You can see the Goliath like beginning to sting. The leader of them is looking pretty rough. He is, they all definitely, from their looks already, they've been through battles. They did not get here untouched. Yeah. But that brings us to the Heart Golem. So it is going to go ahead and attack the big Goliath right in front of it. It's not super smart.
No, I hope some of the Goliaths survive.
He has +1 to AC.
Excellent to know, although I don't think it's going to matter because it's going to be like a 35 to hit. I don't think it's quite 35, but it's high.
Did he recover 7 hit points from Oakfield?
He would have, yeah. He's above.
Oh, yeah, I consider them allies, yeah.
And it's in what range?
30.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, that's
Oakfield, did
great.
you grant them your blessing?
I might have to ask
How
them
is
to arm.
their honor?
I mean, they showed up, so...
So no, that is going to be a 32 to hit, which I assume. I'm playing with my own toys over here. Give me 1 second here. That is going to be 10 points and a strength saving throw.
Like, damn, boys.
Yeah, so you could hear the one Goliath that's just like, "Go, Bretta!" And there's this cheer that goes up. Oakfeld rips the rib cage out, and Oakfeller, the Goliath, just goes, "That was a pretty good job too." And then all of a sudden, this creature reaches out and grabs him, and just like Eleanor before, reaches and sticks him into the rib cage. You can see, no. He grabs onto the one remaining rib, reaches for the other one, and it's gone. Oakfield just took it. He just ends up on the inside. He is now incorporated.
Oh, no.
He is considered restrained if somebody wants to throw that on him.
Which one is it? Not visible.
Big boy.
He's visible. He's 8 feet tall. So, like, especially.
Yeah, leader.
Oh, no.
This is not the leader.
not the leader.
This is Eldred Oakfeller.
Oh, no, my favorite.
Interesting.
Left or right?
That is the first attack. The next attack is going to be against one of the other Goliath. That is going to be a hit,
Jesus.
and he is going to deal
Where's the carnival game in that?
15 points. The leader of the Goliath, you can see the one holding a spear kind of angled into him, gets struck straight down. These claws, the other one, gets carved across, and he drops to the ground unconscious.
So he's not the restrained one.
He is the leader.
This boy.
That brings us to the end of the Heart Golem's turn. You see this one Goliath on the ground, the other one incorporated into him. That brings us to the top of the order. Akka, what do you want to do?
Guess I gotta vortex warp him out, too.
I guess.
So you see it and you're like,
10 times.
Jesus Christ.
So many.
It's because it's 2 times my int modifier.
Yeah.
It's like my level 14 ability.
Amazing.
reach out again, and this time you enclose the magical ribbon calligraphy style around this individual and yank. He is not super smart. He does not know to not resist this, probably. And it's what's the DC? I don't even know if they could pass it, truthfully.
Can't you like tell him not? Can't you just be like?
It's
They rolled a natural one, so it doesn't matter. That's a failure. So all of a sudden, you could see he reaches up and just goes, "No, get out!" And he like tries to pull the magical ribbons away, and all of a sudden, it yanks him. You can place him where you want to put him.
I can put him anywhere within 90 feet.
So yeah, where do you want to put him on the map?
I'm gonna put him
Yeah, fall damage him to death.
like back here, out of this guy's range, but close enough that he can help his friend.
Okay, you yank him out, and the ribbon releases him right next to his comrade. He looks very confused. Anything else, Aka?
I'm gonna bonus action.
This figure reappears for the 5th time this combat. That is your turn, Aka. That brings us to the Goliath. You can see the one Goliath get down and just say, no, you're not going to give up on me that easy. And he goes and he starts trying to do like chest compressions. He makes a medicine check and he stabilizes his leg. The other Goliath engaged in combat is going to take 2 swings. These are at advantage. That is going to be definitely a hit. The first one. And a miss on the second one, I believe. Second guy. Oh, that's only one. This one person's at 2 attacks. First attack deals a whopping 14 points of damage. However, everybody within 5 feet is taking
I should have moved back. I don't know why I didn't.
5 points of acid damage.
Just
Should have probably put him back 5
He
feet
hits
away.
again and again. You can see this blood striking the Goliath and kind of sizzling, but he's sitting there gritting his teeth. That is his turn. That brings us to Shay. For the moment, I'm just going to stick out of combat because it's a lot to deal with. That brings us to Eleanor.
Eleanor's gonna stab him again.
And Eleanor, for what it's worth, there is blood everywhere. Every time that this creature is hit, it spurts in this acidic burst across the room. For you, maddeningly inviting. It smells so good. But Eleanor, what are you doing?
Just stabbing him again. Just straight up.
Make your attack roll.
Oh, I wish. It was so close. It probably hits because it's like 28.
Yeah, that hits.
And I'm just gonna stabby stab. All my fun dice.
So let's get a stabby stab.
Alright, so that's
Yeah, Talon. That's basically exactly what I feel this is.
wrong way, that's fine. 32.
32. This time the rapier flies through, and as these Goliath have been slashing at it, the rib cage broken up, you can see elements within now beating almost differently. These look important. Like these few hearts, blackened such as they are, might have some kind of arcane components that keep this creature together. So you puncture one of them. It bursts, immediately falling into ash, and you hear this creature for the first time kind of reaching down. That hurts it, and it's looking rough. Pieces beginning to fall away. This entire area coated in blood. That does deal 5 points of acid damage to everybody within 5 feet, which includes the one that just was stabilized. That is a death.
No, he's out.
Failure.
He's out of there.
That's within 5 feet.
No, he's back here.
Oh, you moved him. Sorry. Scooch him back just a little further because it looks like his base isn't contact. Okay, so no worries. He's fine.
Yeah, he's got like 10 feet.
That. Eleanor, anything else?
Is Opal the effects looking?
Say
You
again?
get
Yeah.
always as long as you're below half.
exactly for sure.
It's like not even a concentration. It's just
It just
who I
happens.
am.
Nice,
Alrighty,
nice.
anything else, Alana?
I don't think there's anything else I can do that's actually functional. Yeah, I can't get any closer or further away. I'm just gonna hide.
Okay. Yeah. Bonus action. Hide. Go ahead and roll that.
Fine.
Just hide behind Shay and Aqua.
Yeah, I technically be an action.
Oh, right. Because use bonus
hide?
action. I believe so.
You can use an
Yeah.
action to hide.
Yeah, it just normally rogues do bonus action, but since
Yeah.
it's on weird backwards
Us
time.
normies have to use
it's
our
a
action
24.
to hide.
24. So as all of this happens, the screeching of this creature, you just dart into like one of these little nooks, and you make yourself feel pretty small and hidden. That is your turn. That brings us to you, Brenna. In the back of your mind, this time you can hear this voice again rise up. It's close. Feed us. And you feel almost like you pull a step forward. Your mouth like hangs open for a second, and you feel drool down the side. But what do you want to do, Brenna? It's your turn.
I go, wait, and then I hit.
All the hearts just.
Is this still just flat
It's gonna
because he's blanked?
it's a
He's
cheeseburger
flanked.
golem.
You're still blinded, so yeah, flat.
21 to hit.
21 hits.
It's gonna be 15 damage of a magical nature.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Then I'll go again. Dirty 20 to hit.
A dirty 20 hits.
For max damage, 24 damage.
Brenna, tell us how it happened.
Okay, so Brenna, spurred on by the hungry voice, flies up in the air and does like a final like chop.
Yeah.
And as it falls, she can't help herself, although she really wants to, and she just like licks the blade off the blade of her axe.
Fantastic. So for all of you, as we take ourselves out of combat here, you see Brenna run forwards. You can see still eyes not focused on the creature. She can't seem to see it, but almost pulled magnetically. And as she raises his axe and leaps, you can see the lower jawbone of this dragon seem to almost yawn open. And for just a moment, you see this spectral image of a full dragon's skull on top of the axe as it opens its mouth, raging eyes full of fire. And then as Brenna strikes into it, this whole creature seems to almost rupture from the inside and burst backwards like a shotgun blow to the chest. The whole thing begins to crumble and fall, and the blood and the hearts begin to roll out. They strike things. You holding onto this blade, you feel almost repulsed by it, but as you lick, you can hear the voice inside your head say, "So good." And you are all now out of initiative. As the creature is dead, you can see now melting into the ground.
Blue, 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 blue.
And because it is 10 o'clock and we've gone very late tonight, thank you for sticking with us. This is where we're going to call it an end for the evening. With Brenna eating some fresh golem blood and the rest of you catching your breath. So thank you for hanging out with us this evening, and thank you guys for sticking through for this late session.
We have survived.
Always go till 10, right?
Yeah, we always go till 10.
Technically, we're supposed to go till 9:30, but I think
really?
especially today, it felt like, going to a certain point. So as you guys kind of come to a little bit of a rest, you can see and you hear again this kind of boom, boom, boom. I'm looking over. This person's still like doing chest compressions on their golem friend, on their Goliath friend. There is the corpse of the sea elf. You can see still bleeding out on the ground. And for the rest of you, there is just this slowly melting puddle and pile of hearts. And that's where we're going to pick up next week.
Damn.
So awesome work, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Adventures in Alberon. Please stay safe. We'll be back next week. But if you would like to see some more role-playing action before then, next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mosaic Team 5. Dan will be there, Matt will be there, I will be there. But until then, please stay safe. We'll see you.
You just pewed my pew.